Hey there. How are you guys all doing today? I don't know if I'm like really loud or like the music's really loud. Like my audio is, I have no idea. So I was recording a film. I've actually uploaded a video to YouTube now. And I was like amazed at like how soft I was in the video. And I'm like, am I always this soft? Because I don't sound this soft like all the time. Like when I don't think I sound this soft. Like whenever I'm like recording myself, I'm like, am I just a soft-spoken person and I've never found this out? Do I just talk a lot and I'm quiet? Like no one's ever told me I'm quiet before, so like, is it I just like adjust myself for some reason and I'm like randomly quiet sometimes? Like super quiet, and I'm like, I know I'm like sometimes intentionally quiet. Like intentionally I go out of my way to be quiet. And like that's when I like raise the audio level because I'm like going out of my way to be louder. But I recorded this whole video and I'm like super quiet, and I'm like, maybe I just need to have the audio louder because I can always then turn the audio like down a notch if I'm too loud. And I won't have this like random buzzing in the background that I have in the video itself. Also, editing me is a treat because there's like all these weird cuts because I use my hands a lot. Like I use my hands a ton, and as a result my like cuts are super weird because it'll be like me being like, and I'm just like, what was the brain thought that I had? Like what occurred to me to think, you know what you need to do? You need to have like random hands gestures. And I'm like, you know what? In the future, when I do it, I need to like plan out what I'm going to say in each bit, record it, take a break, and then do the next bit. So that way, if I'm editing stuff out, like actually editing like nonsense garbage I'm like rambling out, I'm not like randomly waving my hands and going from like to like in a random cut, because I like seriously considered just like refilming that part, and I think in the future I might have to, because it's so odd. It's such an odd look for me just being like going from one to the other. Regardless, hello. I hope you're all having a lovely day. I'm going to be playing Nexomon today, a game that basically no one seems to be playing or watching, and that's okay. I have become addicted to this game, and I will use this footage. No matter what, I'm going to use it for something. Whether or not, like, where it goes is a whole different matter. Slightly higher. I, like, slightly moved my camera the other day, and I'm like, I don't know if I prefer it up here or if I prefer it down this way. So I think I'm going to do it like this. It's just being special. It wouldn't be me if I didn't have to, like, change the angling. So yeah, I think this will be okay as long as I'm not, like, too high. No one's ever accused me of being tall. So I think I'll be okay. But yeah, so, like, I found this game, right? I was recommended it a while back. Like, a good while back. This game was recommended to me. And I was just like, oh, this game looks cute. Fun story, though. For whatever reason, I never played it. I saw, like, a small bit of footage of it. I saw reviews, kinda. Like, some small reviews of it, because it's kind of an indie game. It's not super well known. And I was, like, watching, like, a little bit of it, and I was like, maybe. And then I found Nexomon Extinction on the Switch, and I was like, that's cute. That looks kind of like Pokemon. That's giving me Pokemon vibes. You know, and I bought it. And then I realized after Nexomon, the first one came out, that it was the sequel to the first game that I didn't get, because I was like, I don't really need that on my computer. But now it's on Switch, and they're both on PlayStation. By the way, I own them both on PlayStation now. Shocker. And I started playing it, and I was just like, I'm addicted. I have a problem. I love this game. And I was like, I wonder how long I've played. And it's like 5 hours. Like, it's more than 5 hours now that I've played this game. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a stream save. So I have my own personal save file, which I'm going to play through my own right, because I am a weirdo when it comes to like grinding a Pokemon, and then I'm gonna have the stream one where yes, still grinding because it's still very much like a Pokemon, in the fact of like you have to kind of hunt for some of the rarer Pokemon. But they actually tell you which ones are rare in this game. They're like, aha, rarity, hi. Plus, there's a bonus to this. When you like fight Pokemon and beat them, you get money. Pokemon doesn't give you money for beating Pokemon. It just gives you like experience points, which not a bad thing. But it doesn't like give you the whole thing you need for like catching more of them. So, the food I'm eating is semi-soft today. I'm having rissoles. I've already eaten the potatoes. But I've got cauliflower and squash left. If anyone's wondering what squash is, it's this like yellow circular like vegetable thing. We like cook it, and so it's really soft when you cook it. Like not baby soft, like babies can eat it. Like it's a baby food if you like make it soft enough. But it's like, it's been cooked, essentially. It's been steamed. And like this is where it's at. Yeah. But yeah, I recently decided that to cancel a bunch of pop vinyl orders I made, because the thing is, pop vinyl pre-orders are like $3, so you like toss $3 at and you'll be like, I'll think about it. So that's what I've done with it. Now the pop vinyls in question are very cute, but I don't need them. Alright, I have all these pops up here that I just have on display. You don't see them, they're up there. That, trust me, there's a wall of them. They've fallen down on me once. Then I have these ones here, some over here, some directly behind me. I have more over here. I have a couple chilling over here, including Hello Kitty, like Gamer Kitty. And like, I have a bunch of the Patronus ones. So I have the Patronus of Dumbledore, Minerva, Ron, Hermione, Harry, Snape. I don't have, I think there was one that was of like Sirius Blacks. Don't have that one, but I have Sirius Black in dog form back there. So regardless of all of this. Also, it's a fun story. I found out why that scene where Sirius Black is like silent, where it's muted, like why the sound is off. It's because like Daniel Radcliffe actually screams, and like he verbally screams in that, so it's not just him screaming. And apparently the scream was so intense from watching like this death scene that it made some of the actresses like on the set actually cry. Like they actually cried from his screaming. So apparently they're like, this is too traumatic for children, and they've decided to never air the scream scene like with audio. And I'm like, okay, cool. So this makes sense now why it's inaudible, because the two of them were apparently fairly close, going through the couple of movies that they were in together. And so when he screamed, he was experiencing like actual, like he was like in the moment of like what he would imagine for this actor. And like, good on him if to like elicit that kind of reaction from so many of the other cast members of like, hey, the scream is so intense that it makes other people in the area cry. Woo. But yeah, so like, I have like Dumbledore's. I've lost the base though for the one of Harry's, because they the deer, they actually came with. So the deer ones actually came with a clear stand, because they like have to be placed because they have tiny little delicate feet, unlike the others that have like a solid base. So like the cats and the dogs are like more seated. One moment, my mother's here. Okay, so she's in another room now. Sorry if you guys hear her. It's unavoidable. It's what happens when I live with loud humans. Regardless, because it's like raining in my house now apparently. And when it rains upstairs, like the water comes in. So as a result, she comes down to be like, close her window, like make sure that the buckets are in the right place for when the water drips in, because my grandfather, they fitted the back half of the roof thing on after the rest of the house. So there's this tiny gap that runs all the way along where the stairs is. So when it rains, the whole stairway gets wet, and it comes downstairs where there's a small crack at the back doorway. So there's probably mold back there. I don't even want to think about it. I never want to think about the fact it's possibly slowly killing us. I'm good. Regardless, back to pop vinyl, something less depressing than, like, mold. Because I'm allergic to the stuff. Not that it improves anyone's breathing whatsoever. But yeah, these come with bases. So I had it over there on top of my PlayStation, along with the otter and the otter one is adorable, by the way. The otter and the dog one for Ron, had all of them over there, just chilling. And I bought the special edition for the bounty game, King's Bounty? What's it called again? Yeah, King's Bounty. I bought the special edition for it because it was actually a reasonably priced special edition. So most special editions are ridiculous. They're expensive, they're insane. I don't particularly have a high fondness. Hey Jessa, how you doing? Thank you so much for the host. How are you doing today? Enjoy your first. I hope you redeem it with pride. How's your day going? And congrats on the 40 gnomes. Second place. And to be fair, the person in first place, it's a fun story. There was this week where I was going around to people and letting them do my gnome hunt. Most of them got bored and didn't bother or just paid attention to the decorations and were like, how many did I get? And I was like, 5. So they did that. One person got to 47. No idea who they are because I didn't write them down. So I just have unknown user at 47 with the top thing, and I'm like, I have to someday try and remember who this person was that I went back, and gave them my gnome hunt, and they diligently, they seeked it out. And they got 47. I'm like, well done. I have no idea who they are. Absolutely none. I can't tell you. And the thing is, my history deletes itself, and I did on my computer, so at least it's on the computer. My history deletes itself every, couple of days to, save space on my, cache or memory or whatever, so I have no idea who they are. I will never know. If it wasn't so later, I might have had to yeah, it's okay. I know that, I was doing some stuff, and so I didn't come on until, 7:30. I was like, yeah, I mean, you can do it now, you can do it on the weekend, but yeah, you can always go, do a second round and try and find them again. I might move, I'm not probably gonna move any of them, in between now and then. There might be one I move, because I have debated moving, a couple of things in that area, so there might be one I move, but other than, and you didn't find that one anyways. So other than that, yeah, I'm gonna put it as anonymous number 1 with, if you know who this was, tell me. Directly beneath it, because I'm actually gonna, post it somewhere. I don't, here's my gnome hunt, here's the current, scoring, thing. If anyone knows who this was, tell me. Because I want to be able to put it down. Who they are. Because they deserve to know. It's this or someone has to beat their record of 47. So that way I can, erase them. Enough people have to get higher than a 47 that I can just, push it down and be like, bye, anonymous number person. But the likelihood is I'm just gonna leave it like that until I someday find out who it was. It's someone who plays Animal Crossing, because they were an Animal Crossing newbie. They were an affiliate, so they've been around a while. They were doing dream addresses. There's someone out there in the universe, and I want to know who they are. Regardless of all this, I will eventually redo the gnome hunt, because I'm planning on finding the perfect weather condition for that, setting my whole island up the way I want to, make sure everyone has the outfit I want them in, and then I'm saving the dream address at a good time I want, and then I'm flattening the whole thing. Everything's getting flattened. And I'm going to take all the gnomes up first, so I'm going to go and find where all my gnomes are, pick them up, move them into one of my storages, and then flatten the whole thing on the stream, because why not? Or partially on the stream even, or while recording it. I have no idea. I want to record the flattening of it, so that way I have visual proof of what happened to this thing, and just slowly work my way through destroying the thing, and then rebuild it all up again. Because I have some ideas of what I want to do with it, and I like what I did last time of flattening it, then plotting out areas and connecting them, and having some people like trial out the dream address and like fixing bits that like didn't flow very well together. So, because there was a couple of parts that I like put things there and then I like didn't make it very easy to get there or get out of there, and so no one ever went there except me, and I was just like, this feels like a waste of an area. So yeah, it'll be a process. It ain't happening today. It ain't happening tomorrow. I've gotta like, that's basically the only thing I'm doing in Animal Crossing at the moment. Doing dailies to move the days forward to find a good weather day before the end of summer. If I actually know a good weather day in the past, so if I have to, I'm actually willing for only this to go back then, set the dream address, move back to the day I'm at. That's it. That's the only thing I'll do it for. Saving the dream address if by the end of August I don't find a good weather day. Literally it. And I'm not even upset about that. I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine with doing that if that's what I'm doing it for. Because at that point, I don't want it to be in autumn. I don't want it to be an autumn dream address. I want it to have the bright green summery look just for the DA, because I'm flattening the whole thing down to make an autumn one. So it doesn't need to be there. Albeit the pumpkins will persist. I'm not getting rid of my pumpkins. But it will be a different kind of look. Cool. You're just missing part of your leg, apparently. Brilliant. I just noticed this one's missing part of her leg. No idea where that went. We'll live with that. She's a unique deer now. So I have enough pop vinyls, essentially was what I was going for. Because I pre-ordered a couple ones. They're very cute looking. They're all Wall-E related. Like, they're Wall-E ones for, like, the little robots. And they're adorable. But I'm also like, but where would I put you? Like, do I have a space for you? Do I have somewhere I would want to place you? Because it's Eve, Mo, and Wally. So those three I'm still mulling it over, but there's two that I'm downright flat out canceling you. Because I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't have a place for you. You're getting canceled. I'm going to take the $6 that I put on you and put it to someone else. But I'm still, humming and awing about, the other three. Because they're very cute robots. But do I need them in my house, my space, my area? I have a lot of things. And I'm like, I don't really need you. I just want you. So I'm kind of seeing if maybe they release little keychains of Wally, Eve, and Mo, and I get those instead. They're almost the same price, but they're smaller. So it's kind of up in the air what I'm doing about them. I have them written down as to be thought about. So I'm gonna pull up the picture, leave it up for a couple days on my computer, stare it down, and be like, do I need it? So that's kind of where I'm sitting with the pop vinyls. Now I have one pre-ordered that I'm not canceling, no matter what. It's getting bought, and it's for Caterpie. Now I canceled a ton of Pokemon ones because at the time they kept releasing new Pokemon ones. They started out with a couple, and so I actually own the starters. I have Vulpix, I have Growlithe, so I have my favorites. I have my favorite Pokemon as pop vinyls, and I have Pikachu here, waving. I have a separate one because they'd only released a couple at this point, and I was like, you know, I can I don't really have anything like that because they didn't really have anything like Pokemon yet, because this was the beginning leading into the Pokemon 25th year. So I was like, okay, I'll get a couple of you. Now there's 30 of them because they did Mew, Mewtwo, all the evolution, Eevee evolutions. They did Eevee, they the straight Eevee one, but all the others as well. They did Horsey. There was a ton of them, tons and tons and tons. I think I actually have Horsey pre-ordered as well, but I don't know what's happened to it, because I have no idea what's happened to it. I literally have no idea what's happened to Horsey. I pre-ordered it, no idea where it is, no idea what's happened to it. I'll eventually find out. Either they'll tell me, hey, it's here, or I'll go and ask. I think I might ask when I go in tomorrow to talk about Metroid. Because I'm pretty sure Metroid is coming out tomorrow. So I think I might go and ask. You only have a few pop vinyls? Safe. That's a safe bet. The only reason I have so many, so I only bought originally about 5. I had like 5 of them. It was like Hermione. I think it was one of the characters from Firefly. It was a couple of the ones from like Fantastic Beasts, so I had a couple of the like side characters, and I had a couple of keychains, like the tiny ones, the one like these ones. I had a couple of these. I didn't have a ton. And then I got a loot box subscription. For a brief, like, maybe a year, I did this one until it got more expensive because they started, like, taxing loot boxes coming into Australia. So they were briefly cheap, like, a little cheaper than they are now. They're more expensive now, so I don't buy them at all. Because I'm like, plus I don't really need all the stuff that comes inside it. I just wanted the shirt and occasionally the odd item in it. Regardless, I got a ton of these from that because a bunch of the pop vinyls came in it. And I was like, oh, cool. I have them all. And then I bought other ones that were like random movies or ones. And before I knew it, I have a collection. Like nowhere near how many there are. There's hundreds, thousands. There's a guy who has like every single pop vinyl in existence. Like he hunts them down. He finds them all. Even the special edition ones. He collects all of them. It must be, I think he actually must know someone in pop vinyl in order to get them all. So you have Hermione, Harry with Invisibility Cloak, Meredith Grey, Sabrina, Klaus with Umbrella Academy, from Umbrella Academy, Belle, Chip, and Alice in Wonderland. Those are some pretty cool ones. From Alice in Wonderland, I want to get the Cheshire Cat one, because there was one where it was like partially invisible, partially visible. My favorite one, which came in a set, it's actually up here. So I don't know if you know Avatar, like the Last Airbender Avatar, but this is Momo. So I got Momo with Aang up there. They came as a set, and then I also have Appa. So I have a couple of like Avatar ones that are floating around, but that was my favorite, and it's not even like on its own pop vinyl, it's like a set one. So I like a couple of the ones that are a set. Does he have a house just for pop? I don't know. I saw a thing, and so he actually takes them all into the boxes and then separately stores the boxes. So he like fully stores the boxes elsewhere in like a storage unit, I think, that is just the boxes. And then in his house, he has a room with just shelving in it, with all the pops on display in their sets. You know what I'm talking about? Haven't seen it? It's worth watching. I bought it all on DVD recently because there was so they're individually shown, but there was a sale on kids TV shows. And so what I did was I bought all of the because it was buy 2 get 1 free. So I bought the Avatars and then I bought Korra collection, so I have them all. You haven't taken yours out of boxes? I take some of them out of boxes. The ones I plan on displaying like on my desk, I take them out of boxes. But if it's like the wall behind me, none of them are out. So there's like odd ones that are out. I don't take any of the small ones out anymore. But as you can see, when I take them out of boxes, they get damaged, they get hurt, all those kinds of things. So I don't take most of mine out. I leave most of them in the boxes and just display them that way because I'm so paranoid they're gonna get hurt. But there's like ones on my desk which I kind of accept they're gonna probably get a little damaged or like sunlit, like whatever. So those ones are out. But it's like, so like this is one of my Avatar ones. And see, I own Katara, Iroh, Appa's up there with the Aang one. And the ones I'm missing out of this set are Sokka, Toph, and Zuko. Okay, I would have bought these ones, but they're gone from existence. Can't find them anymore. And I went and bought a couple other ones thinking, oh, maybe it's like part of the set. Maybe they've expanded it. No, they do separate lines. They'll do a whole new line from the same show with more characters involved in it. So like Suki here, she's got a whole second set on the back of it from Avatar. And this is just the original. They've done a whole separate series for like the second one with Korra. So they do this all the time. And so I'm like, I only get ones for characters I really want or I really want to put on display. So there's this brief window where I was pre-ordering pops left and right because I got a little interested in pop vinyls and I was like, hold up a minute. You don't need them. Calm down. Put a pause. So I did. I backed away. Because I have amiibo. I have tons of amiibo. Albeit I do not own them all. I'm missing about 40 of them still. And I someday hope to get them. I figure give it enough time and people will get, like, lose interest in their collection maybe, and so some people will start selling them again, because the thing is, amiibo went through a cycle, so they got really popular, and then they lost their popularity for a huge window of time, and then they gained popularity again when Smash came back out, because Smash is now finished releasing its DLC, right? There's a high likelihood they'll start to lose popularity again, and they'll go back online, and I can find some for cheap. Same, you just got some of your fave characters. Yeah, it's a smart decision. It's literally a smart decision. So Suki got bought. There was 3 other characters I would have bought, but I just couldn't find them. I just couldn't. I wanted Sokka, Toph, and Zuko, because then that's all the main cast. I would have the main cast of Avatar, and you know, like, I'm fine if, like, they do a 3rd series and they re-release some, because sometimes they re-release some of the characters in different poses, right? And so maybe someday they'll re-release that one, or they do, like, version 2 ones, so they'll have on the box, like, version 2, version 1, so I don't even care about if it's a version 2 or something. I just would, maybe get those ones. That's probably it where I sit with the Avatar ones. I'm not invested in getting all of the Korra ones. I only got one, which was Korra. And that's because she grew on me, kinda. Like, I kinda started to like her more by the end of the series. I started out being like, I'm gonna hate this show. Because I loved the first one. You know where you have a show and it's like you mourn its end, and then a sequel or a related spin-off happens, and you're like, I don't want to watch it at all. I have no interest in this show. It can go away. I'm good. I'm fine. Like, I did this with Doctor Who. After Matt Smith, his section where he had his final episode, I was in hard grieving. Real intense. I was in mourning. This is a character in a TV show, and I was, grieving for, a year and a half. So, because my at the time, boyfriend, my now ex, he took me to watch on the big screen, the first 3 episodes of the new Doctor Who show with Capaldi. I'll acknowledge Capaldi's a good actor. He's a good actor. I don't have a problem with him. I've since gone back and watched those episodes again, and they were very good. But the entire time I was watching those episodes, in my head, all I could do was compare him to Matt Smith and be like, Matt would never do this. Why is he doing this? It was just a shock. I wasn't in as much shock as Clara was, where she was just what's happening? What's going on? I was in the exact same moment of just intense grieving. It was like someone had died. He was gone. In my mind, he had died. And it was in that moment I came to peace with when my friends were in high school and they were watching the David Tennant ones as they aired. I did not. I caught up on them later on when I was watching the Matt Smith ones. Oh boy. They had this grieving period over a couple of characters, something that happened to them, and I was like, they're just characters. What are you doing? To be fair, when I watched the episode that they grieved in, I was very upset too. But Matt Smith was my favorite. It wasn't that I spent the most time with him. It was the fact that he was filled with so much wonder and happiness and delight about everything. And it was just refreshing. Because most shows that I was watching at the time were the characters were gloomy, moody, angsty people. Which, don't get me wrong, love them. You're my people. But it was so different, and he just looked at everything very differently. His character was always trying to puzzle things out and had this just charm to him. And so when Capaldi came around and he was this moody old man who I was just very much I can't watch Doctor Who anymore, and I took a break. I haven't watched Doctor Who since then. It's been, geez, 5 or 6 years? I literally haven't rewatched the show. I haven't watched any of the new episodes. Nothing. Haven't watched the show at all. 0 Doctor Who. Hey Peanut, how are you doing? You came into the middle of my, oh look, here's me grieving Doctor Who. Again. So yeah, I haven't watched Doctor Who since. So yeah, I was like that with Korra. I was just like, it took me a while because I found out Korra happened. Didn't watch it at the time because I think they did it like, I don't know if they did it shortly after the first show or not. I do not know when it aired, but I refused to watch it on a principle of like, Aang is the only avatar I need. So I was just like downright. Little do I know that there's a whole comic series that apparently is good to watch, or read. If I wanted to catch up on, like, because it apparently covers, like, the 100 Years' War, it covers, like, all this, like, extra lore behind stuff, which apparently is what the new stuff is going to be based off of, if they're staying true to what their other statements are. Who knows? But I just, like, full-blown didn't do it, avoided it. I was like, I'm gonna hate it. I actually watched Korra, and now, don't get me wrong, my preference is still the first one, like the one with Aang and the Avatar. But I don't hate. Like, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate Korra. It was pretty good. Like, it's not the best show ever, but it was actually pretty decent. Didn't cover things, didn't make me cry as much as the first one, which is probably a bonus. Like, it didn't hit the same, like, emotional pangs, but it was still pretty good. Yep, I usually watch shows like years after they ended. You watch the last episode of Game of Thrones as the first episode? Why? Why would you hurt yourself like that? That's painful. No. That's the worst way to do it. As someone who watched all of these seasons in order for Game of Thrones before I had like a conniption fit and stopped watching like Game of Thrones at all in episode 4 of season 8. If anyone knows where that is, and the circle of, like, hell, that's where I stopped. Because that's where all the, like, I like to acknowledge season 8 up to episode 4. At the end of episode 4, Game of Thrones is over for me. That's the season finale. That's my season finale. Take that as you will. So why would you watch season 8's finale? Like, as the first... Oh, that's a terrible way to watch Game of Thrones. I mean, sure. I mean, it does let you have realistic expectations of how it's going to go for the rest of the time. Because the thing is, the other seasons are all good. I enjoyed the other seasons. I would buy a box set of Game of Thrones, the full collection, if I didn't know season 8 existed. Nope, never watched any episodes, and then someone told me the final episode was coming and watched it. Oh my god, why? No. Yeah, the series is good, but season 8 is not. Like, most of season 8. Definitely need to be watched from the beginning. Yeah, I'm with Jess on this. You watch it from the beginning. Obviously, saw plenty of highlights, but only watched that as full. I don't know how you didn't. It was like a cultural phenomenon for like what was it, like 8-9 years that it was running? I think it was only 8 that it was going for. That's like longer than high school. That's like middle school, high school, and part of elementary. That is literally like you started the 5th grade and you graduated the same year the season finale happened. Only series you watched from start to finish is Scrubs. Yeah, bit of a letdown. Season 8's a bit of a letdown. Now, don't get me wrong. I love episodes 1 to 4 of season 8. Do not have a problem with those episodes. I, in fact, very much enjoyed those episodes. If you watch those episodes, you might know why. As someone who doesn't want to spoil it and wants to force Peanut to have to watch the season. And there's some real highlights in the earlier seasons, to the point that I've, like, repeatedly considered buying the Game of Thrones box collection. Like, I've repeatedly considered buying the full thing, because I don't plan on giving HBO like a subscription amount. I just don't. I'm like, what would I do it for? I'd essentially get a subscription for the several months it would take me to watch the show, so I may as well just wait for a good sale and buy the full series then, because it's like 100 and something full price. So I'll just wait it out. It was on the bandwagon late, maybe around 6 or 7, you binged them all. Yeah, that's fair enough. Most people didn't, everyone came at a different point. I watched season 1, stopped watching for a while just because of, our cable TV, TV because it was all on cable. I stopped having access fully to the thing, and then, around about season 6, when that happened, I fell in love with torrenting, illegal downloading, and I downloaded the entire thing. So I downloaded seasons like 1 to 6. They corrupted on my old hard drive, so I don't have that anymore, but they then came out on Foxtel's like app, so I rewatched them all, and then just in time for season 8, watched season 8 fully, in bits. So I watched episodes 1 to 4, was told episode 5 was crap, paused a moment, then watched 5, 6, and 7 when they'd come out, and I was like, oh no, this is awful. And then I like paused and I waited for all the remaining episodes to come out and then watched that all together because I like hurting myself apparently. And so I was just like, never doing this again. But I still rewatch like clips and bits from old episodes in older seasons. So I like in the earlier seasons, I still like the show. I just don't like everything past episode 4 of season 8. They should have never done those episodes. And the worst part is, George R.R. Martin has come out and been like, yeah, the book's going to go exactly the same way as the show. Like, it's right on point. And I'm like, no one likes that part of the show, and you still have to sell a book. Are you insane? You want people to still buy this book knowing that they're going to hate the book as they hated the ending of the show? Are you insane? I think this is why he hasn't written any more of the main series yet, and he's done all these spin-offs. He's written like 5 spin-off books, and he can't even finish the main series. You do have a build-up to who killed the night. Yeah. There's some good build-up moments and some good, like, ooh, who's it gonna be? And then it's like, some of the stuff, you hate it. I'm like, I still don't understand how they decided some of the things in the final episode. Like, why did he have to be, like, why was he made king? He never wanted to be a ruler ever. Sure, he can see things, but that doesn't mean he's anything besides the weird uncle who comes to Christmas. The other guy has an actual, like, right to the throne. People followed him into battle. People fought for him. He has the thing that he would need to be king. Is it just because he's a Targaryen? Is it just because of his bloodline? Is that it? Like, that's not a good enough reason. Yeah, like, what the hell was that? Why did they decide how everyone went to begin with? That one guy's going back off to be the wall dude, and I'm like, you didn't need to go back to be the wall dude. You could just claim the throne, and all these people who fought with you, they'd be your people. Like, you could just rebuild a city, and it's not like you're a crazy person. You have a generally good head on your shoulders. You're just really bad at picking women. There's a difference. Also, another thing, I know that Daenerys was going a little nut crazy near the end. She was really going a little crazy, but I think that we kind of saw that coming from earlier in the seasons where she went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So she was insane from like earlier on. We just loved the crazy because she was less crazy than Joffrey. Joffrey was a nutcase for most of his seasons. We all were like, yeah, you just killed a 16-year-old. Way to go. Like, we were happy when he died. Everyone was happy when he died. Okay? You can't say the same thing for Daenerys. You just can't. People were like, yeah, her behavior was crappy. But what she needed was a good slap to the face. She didn't need to be, like, killed off. No. It's just a note. There could have been a better ending. There could have been a better ending. There just could have been a better way to go for all of them. Yeah, they were great actors. I don't have a problem with the actors. Emilia Clarke is amazing. I love her. I'm still amused with the fact that people are like, she's not a natural platinum blonde. And I'm like, no one's a natural platinum blonde. That's a color no one is. Sure, there's people who are really blonde and have a shade that's like when they're children, similar to that. But no adult woman has that hair naturally unless they're using a lot of product. Nothing. Zero nothingness. Yeah, Emilia Clarke is great. No one has that natural hair color, and the people who are like, oh my god, she's not naturally, I'm like, tell me when you've met someone with that hair before. Tell me who you've met who is naturally that hair color out in the world. Tell me. Right? She has brown eyebrows. This color. She's a naturally dark-haired woman. Okay, no, like, the thing is, most giveaways is when you can tell when someone's a dyed blonde is their eyebrows. Okay? These things here, yeah, unless they're blonde because they've bleached them, like, separately, which no one does because I think it, like, damages your skin. Giveaway. Like, this is the giveaway of, like, what color they are naturally. It just is. Like, the eyebrows are the giveaway. I mean, I'm sure some people, like, dye their eyebrows, but I briefly remember watching a video of someone, like, trying to dye their eyebrows, right? Like, bleach them along with their hair, and their eyebrows fell out. Because they used a too strong a, like, dye for their eyebrows, and the whole thing just, like, fell out, and it took, like, and they had, like, chemical burn. Yeah, I remember watching a video of this online, and I was just like, and the thing is, they're right above your eyes. You have to, like, somehow protect it, like, the bleach from, like, not rolling into your eyes and, like, blinding you for life. Like, who in their right mind thinks, you know what we need to do? We need to put, like, bleach here and then just, like, sit like this for, like, a couple hours or just lay down flat until someone can come along and just, like, casually help us, like, not blind ourselves. I'm just saying, like, who, like, you never see people with, like, even professionally done actresses and actors, most of the time, if they get blonde hair, they do not dye the eyebrows. No one does. Some of them will lighten the eyebrows if, like, for instance, the hair color up the top is, like, it's theirs but just slightly lightened. They'll do the same with the eyebrows because it's not as bad. It's not as intense a thing, but they still have, like, stuff to put on to protect themselves with. They look ridiculous. Actually, have you seen Maisie Williams' eyebrows? No, I haven't. I haven't seen Maisie Williams' eyebrows recently. Has she done a reverse where she's got blonde eyebrows and, like, dark brown hair or something? I obsess a little bit over the eyebrows because I have what you call Polish eyebrows. Now they don't look it now, but my eyebrows were really, really bushy when I was younger, and I groom them. So, like, I do minor plucking to make sure that they don't get too crazy, but, like, it was unibrow central. So, like, it's very easy enough for me, like, the unibrow, and for these things to just go kapow. But I've been doing it for so long, when I'm, like, over the past, like, period of my life, that, like, this part down here doesn't really grow too much anymore, so just this part, like, goes ka-woof. So I'm trying to make my eyebrows look more natural, because they were very heavily plucked for a couple of years when I was in my late teen years, early 20s, where I thought it was, like, hip, and it was the era of the thin eyebrow, and everyone was over plucking. Fully bleed. I mean, so there must be a way that it's done where it doesn't, like, kill your eyes. It's for a hairdresser who's actually trained at this to know. Not me. And that's okay. But it's not common. Most people who do, like, their hair don't also do the eyebrows. I've seen people who, like, bleach their hair, do the rainbow look. You don't also see many of them doing their eyebrows. Some do. I'm sure there's some very fashionable people out there who give it a go. It's not the norm. Most people don't do it. Most of the bleaching videos I see are people being like, so we bought this product, and we bought these things, and then what they do is they, like, toss it all together, and they're just like, they try and figure it out, like, in the bathroom with the friend who's giggling their butt off, who's trying to help to make sure they get all the patches, and even then they still miss the patches, and they, like, have these random patches of darker hair, so they, instead of just bleaching those patches, decide to re-bleach their whole head. I love those disaster hair videos. I watched, like, I know he was briefly canceled. I don't know what he was canceled for, but, like, Brad Mundo on, like, YouTube, I binged a ton of his like watching disasters or watching people like do their hair in certain way videos of like it started out really terrible, like it was a disaster in the making, but somehow it turned out okay, and you're just like, magic, like how did it work? And even he's just like, I don't know what happened here, like what did you do? And they're like, oh yeah, we like went to a hairdresser and they helped fix the bleach, and then we just like put a color in through it, and he's like, good job. Yeah, absolutely. You got microbladed tattooed eyebrows done this year. Oh nice. That must hurt. I think I've seen like a parlor that does it here in my city. I've only really seen like one. There must be more of them, but it looks painful. Like, I assume there's pain involved because you're like I think you're pulling hair out. But yeah, like I love those videos, especially the ones that like you'll have like a break and it's like a period of time later and they're just like, so my hair is ruined. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a while. And then you'll see like the update like 6 months later or so where their hair is mildly grown out enough that they're just like, yeah, so we're just like cutting it all off and we're gonna be bald for a while. Or they have like really short hair. Or you'll see the ones who like, they have multiple years in a row where they've done this. Because the thing is, it is hair when you're younger, but you do have to be wary of like chemical burns. So I do like watching those ones and learning just enough about hair that I'm like, I'm never gonna touch this ever. So I haven't bleached my hair personally, but I went to a hairdresser, got bleached once, and my hair was so dead because they had to so heavily bleach my hair. Because if you look at it, it's a dark brown. It's a dark brown. In fact, when I don't see the sun often enough, it goes almost black. My natural hair color is a dark brown. And it's lightened here in Australia to this like lighter brown when I see the sun a lot. Now, even though I've been seeing the sun a bit more since COVID, since like 2020, like this year I've been seeing it more, my hair, last year, I saw the sun so little that my hair for the first time since I moved to this country was almost my natural full dark hair color again. It was the first time in years. Like it'd been nearly 11 years since I'd had my hair that dark. Cause most of the pictures after like the 7th grade, it's so much lighter because I was spending more time outside because I had a lot of sporty friends, and my hair didn't get darker again until COVID because I started spending more time inside. Now I still spend time inside, but because like we were forced to be outside at school and like walking stuff a lot with school and like uni essentially kept my hair lighter. And now that I can do my uni from home, and now that I work inside, my hair has gotten much darker again, and so the idea of bleaching my hair now, not even like a couple of years ago, my hair was a little bit lighter. Now, I can just feel my hair like screaming. I know it's possible, and I'd want to do it like someone who knows what they're doing. Like, I wouldn't touch my hair because I don't trust myself, but I want someone else to do it. There was one the other day you seen, and they bleached it 3 times in one day, and he was so surprised. Yeah, right? Like, I saw one where he was watching it, and it was just like the person had bleached their hair so many times that it was fried. But they put the colorant through it, and like the color looked alright, the one they put in it, and they're like, it works. And he was always surprised when the person finally they watched these disasters unfold, and it was like finally they started to like get near the color they wanted, and they're like, we've got to stop. This is what we're at. Or the ones where it looks like it's gonna turn out so poorly, and then they do something, like one thing they change, and then they put the color in that they're aiming for, and bam, fixed. My personal favorites are some of the ones where it was like watching where it was like dark hair to red hair or red hair to black hair. It was one of those ones, and the people in them, he was very skeptical of what was going to happen because he was like, this seems like an ordeal. And these people had very frizzy, like naturally curly hair, so they're even harder, I think, to bleach or like do anything with because it's just like all the waves create a bit more like effort. So it was one of those ones, and he was just like skeptical, heavily skeptical. I'm like, I do not blame you, my dude. That haircut is a hard one. I remember a girl at school, she had really, really curly hair, like really gorgeous hair, but it was super, super curly, and she was just like, I never brush it, like ever. She just didn't brush it because there was no real point, like it doesn't get straight. So she had to do like, I think there was something else she had to do, and I was just like, curly hair looks beautiful, but it seems like such a hassle. Like once you get too tight a curl, if your hair is like loose curls, like, you know, the like light wavy curl, you're blessed, great. Your hair looks gorgeous, and those ones are probably the like less difficult of all the curly hair. But then you get the ones where I look and it's just like, you know, the like really beautiful, like heavily, heavily curled women. And I just look at it and I'm like, that's a whole different, like, you need to know what you're doing. It's like a challenge. And so there's like people, and it's like, that's a specialist hairstyle. And you have to go to someone who actually knows how to handle it when you want it trimmed, when you want it cut, anything. Because otherwise you're going to look awful. And so there's like people who like know a lot more. I wouldn't even know where to start with curly hair because my hair is dead flat. It's straight. It's never curling. My hair is so flat, in fact, that for my formal in grade 12, like our like prom, I got my hair curled. Like heavily curled, very heavily hairsprayed. Went to the formal. It was winter, by the way. It wasn't even like summer where like the curls come out faster. None of this. It was winter. It was freezing cold. Winter. Half an hour after I left the hair salon, where it was pretty curls, flat. Like flat hair again. It was like it never happened. I barely got any pictures with this curly hair in before it was flat again. It was in the pictures I've taken where I got to the formal. Like I was there. I have maybe a couple right near the beginning where I have this curl in my hair, and then nothing for the rest of the night. You'll see pictures of me later in the day, like later in the evening of that party, because they took photos of people as you went around. The curl's gone. I have no curl left. There is nothing curly about me in that moment. I've accepted, like, and I knew this about myself. I knew my hair was hard to curl because when I was little, me and my mom tried to, because I was so dead set about having it to go to this thing we called my school that was like, it was kind of, it was like, kind of like a sock hop, if anyone knows what that is. It's like the 1950s style wearing clothes. You like, it was a really fun thing. We did it every year at that school. And my mom made us a poodle skirt. I loved this poodle skirt. She made it. It was really cute. I wore it. I was so happy. There's photos of me sitting on a motorcycle with my friend at this sock hop. Me and this like, that skirt. Beautiful. I wanted to have curly hair for it so badly. Because I thought it would be cool to have like some cute curls in my hair. Because all these like really pretty girls in my school had curly hair. And I was determined to get one because my hair was boring, in my opinion. Boring and dark brown and flat. So I wanted curly hair. And so I made my mom put it in curlers. And I sat in those curlers for almost 2 hours. With these curlers sprayed in, you know, like the old style of curling. With these, like, they're painful to curling. And she took it all out. And my hair, 10 minutes after she took it out, went flat. The curl was gone. I'm never getting curly hair ever, and it's okay. My dad, in comparison, has those like tiny ringlets. In fact, people on his side of the family, some of the bunch of the men, they have like afros. Their hair is these like tiny curls. And it makes like, one of them had an afro, like a big natural afro. It just grew that way. He didn't cut it. It like tight curled and went outwards and up. So there's people in my family who have curly hair. And then in comparison, one of them had, like, all the others are straight hair. So like, it's either like you have tiny curls in the men, or you have nothing. There's no in between. If I go enough time in the sun, I get red flecks in my hair sometimes, but I don't get curls. And the red flecks come through just because it's like red is in brown, and there's red hair in my family, so of course there's red in the brown. what you gonna do? So yeah, that's what that is. So in case you're wondering, I'm eating rissoles still. I was determined to stream at 7. I'm a slow eater. So I'm still eating. Because it took 4 rissoles, and I didn't need 4 rissoles. And I'm like, one of these is going to probably go in the container with my lunch. Or I'm just going to make a separate thing, and I'll eat them when I get home. Because my mom doesn't cook on Fridays, because she doesn't need to. Because she doesn't. Because it's the weekend, so she doesn't have to bother. And I'm like, cool, Mom. Love you too. So it's either I eat shrimp or I have leftovers. So whatever I don't eat today is probably going to become leftovers for when I get home from work tomorrow, which is perfectly fine with me. Yeah, I've been sitting here and chatting for a while, and I'm going to open up Nexomon so you can see what I'm talking about when it, like, this game is basically a Pokemon game. It's basically Pokemon. It's 100% Pokemon. I bought this game because I was told it's kind of like Pokemon, and if anyone has played it's not like the new Pokemon. I'm not even talking about the new ones. Those ones, ignore them. I'm talking about, like, the classics of, like, this one reminds me of like, back in the days of, like, Emerald and Diamond, and Sapphire, Ruby, like, that era of where it's, like, kind of, like, cute little pixely, but, like, not pixel, but, like, the cute little tiny chibi figures on the screen, and it's a fixed view, like, and you wander through, like, CGI grass. So this is, like, before Let's Go, long before Sun and Moon, where they started to change the look of them, way before that, into the era of, like, Sapphire and Diamond, the one that they're doing a remake for, which I'm so excited. So this is, in fact, a preview of how I'm going to be with Diamond and Pearl, where it's like, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Like, it's gonna be like that. Game. So this is Nexomon, right here in the screen. You can see its tile card. It looks exciting. So you're gonna see, essentially, let's see if the audio is working. Because my Elgato keeps doing a thing where it's like, cuts out the music. I'm gonna mute it over here and see if I hear it in the game thing. Mute. Okay. We're gonna see if I hear any music. It's gonna be a challenge. It's very bright. Because I want there to be audio. I want the audio to exist. Because it'd be a shame if there wasn't any. I'll live if there is. If there isn't, I'll turn the, like, TV on so you can hear it through, like, maybe a little bit through the microphone, but that'll be essentially where you'll hear it from, my TV. Let's see. Do I hear any? Yes! We hear it. It's there. Yes, victory. Okay, I can breathe easy. Let me know if it's too loud, and we're just gonna mute the desk. Because, oh my god, the music in this is so Pokemon. If it's too loud, let me know. But, oh, look at that. Is this my main one? This is my main one. Okay, we're going on to the secondary one because I'm not playing my main one. My main one, I've essentially just, like, played it for the past couple of days. I started this thing on PlayStation. I started a save file, and I was like, you know where I could play this? My Switch, because my Switch can come to bed with me. Excellent. And so I did that. And then I was like, I want to, like, play it on my own, and I don't want to have to, like, pause for story because I'm not streaming it the way I'm doing with Eastward. Because I haven't played Eastward in, like, a week and a bit, and I do want to play the rest of it on stream so I can save it all and be like, I have it all. Excellent. But I haven't done that, so this is the stream save that I can just not play sometimes because I'm not streaming it. Because this way, if I, like, only get to a certain point and I'm like, I only play it occasionally on stream, it's perfectly fine. that I don't play Nexomon for a while. Now, do I want to be the boy or the girl again? Alright, we're gonna do this one as the boy. Because I've done the other one as the girl. And I really don't think the outfits actually changed at all in this, like, thing. I'm pretty sure you don't get, like, separate clothing as you go through the game. I'm almost entirely positive you don't. So, in case you hear screaming, it's just my dad playing video games in the other room. Alrighty. This world was, I don't know if you saw that, it was like, this world was, we were the rulers and masters of this land, this year of prosperity. Don't know if you can hear him speaking at all.
But then, on one fateful day,
there you go.
Everything changed.
Just for this audio part. You don't hear them speak at all.
From the high
ever.
heavens descended an unspeakable evil.
Because the rest of the time they don't really talk.
A monster.
Just
He proclaimed himself as Omnicron, the king of the Nexomon.
I swear, Omnicron sounds exactly like it comes out of Transformers. It 100% sounds like that. This wicked behemoth
threatened to engulf our humanity into darkness. With one shattering roar, an eternal war between humans and Nexomon began. Over centuries of violence, humans learned how to tame and befriend the Nexomon, and use them to fight against Omnicron himself. Then, in the midst of a dark age, one brave human warrior rose against all odds. And with the help of his Nexomon companions, he defeated Omnicron. The war ended, and centuries later, we live in a peaceful world along with our Nexomon friends. For Omnicron's darkness was forever destroyed. Or so we thought.
Or so we thought. Who didn't see that coming? That's too loud. Turning that back down. Okay. So essentially this thing like reminds me a lot of like the Transformers. Casually turn on the audio. Let's just down a smidge for that. Cause as cool as that is, it's the only time like I turned it up purely because it's the only time so far that I've heard any like narrator or like narration. So the rest has to be done by me. This is the end of your world, champion of mankind. My ascension will set in motion a millennia before you were ever born into this petty land. None may overcome Omnicron, the almighty king of monsters. You know, tell me this guy over here sincerely doesn't look like that blue Pokemon, like Arceus from like, I think it was, I don't remember which one he came out of, but I know he was in like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and like a combination between him and like the Sword and Shield Pokemon. Like the colors of Sword and Shield, but the look, like the look of the other one. I think that's briefly why like I have to wonder if like Pokemon ever like you can see the like inspiration, right? Like you can see how it looks a lot like Arceus. Right? Like, I'm not imagining it. Looks so much like it. Like, exactly like it. On this fateful day, my kind will arise from the ashes of your world. Now be gone! Yeah, this is exactly like the OG Pokemons. Like the newer ones, it's like, oh yeah, you've just moved here. No, and like it doesn't even like have you start in the house. Yeah, I'm ignoring his, like, narration now. I only really paid attention to his narration in the very beginning one, because I'm like, great. But if it's important enough and it shows on the screen, you can either read it or it's not important enough to pay attention to. But I'm not turning him up louder, because the thing is, the SFX is very loud, but his voice in comparison is very quiet. So I'm like, either I need to turn him up somehow and turn down, because I think he counts as like special like effects. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, and go investigate the noise. Thank you, Captain. So it's like the music, text SFX. We'll turn that down a little bit and the music up a tiny bit. But yeah. I don't know what I clicked. I exited, no. It's fine, cool. Still there. Everyone calm down. Has anyone ever done that where they're just like, oh yeah, I'm doing fine, and then like, that happens? Oh my god, I'm skipping you this time. I can skip, there's a B button to skip. Come on, let me skip you. This is what I get for exiting out. It's fine. We hadn't gotten anywhere yet. We're just reliving this. It's gonna be okay. This is exactly what I get for pressing buttons. This is I should have saved before I started pressing things. I should have saved. Yeah. Blah blah mankind death. Blah blah future. I am just downright terrified. You see this? This is the shaking of someone who's terrified. Look at it. Oh wait, I'm just moving my hand.
Young and normal human child. Little does he know, his life is about to change very, very soon.
Yeah, I remember when you'd see like in the older ones, like my favorite and what I'm really looking forward to is with Diamond and Pearl. Team Galactic were my favorite villains. Now, I don't really remember too much about the ones in Sapphire and Ruby, except them being like, we're in volcanoes, and here's these cool Pokemon. Because the thing is, nothing really seems to happen. Like, with it, nothing really seems to happen. Like, sure, they piss off like a Pokemon in a volcano, right? Great. Woo. But what other than that actually happens? I don't know. I honestly don't remember. Because it was like, they piss off a Pokemon, you go in and catch the Pokemon, you like, now you have a really cool Pokemon, then you deal with the League. The bad guys were kind of just like, oh no, you defeated us. Like, it wasn't too big a deal once you got there. Like, there was this mild build up to it, and then like, it was a bigger deal to get through, I think, a couple of the puzzles related to them, and I think a couple of cities, but that was really about it. Now, Team Galactic, on the other hand, I remember them as being like, oh my god, they're super weird. Like, they seemed like weirdo villains from the beginning, whereas the ones in Ruby and Sapphire, they're just like, they're just people around that are kind of a little sketch, but are they really that bad? Who knows? They didn't really do anything too much. Galactic kinda does a couple things, because the thing is, they didn't really like steal Pokemon from what I remember. Like, my memory is very vague. It's been a couple years since I played Ruby and Sapphire, but the main part of that movie was not like that game wasn't really focused on the villains. It was somewhere else. Like, I didn't really pay them too much mind, whereas I paid more attention to the Team Galactic ones. And these guys in this game over here, they remind me. These guys here remind me of Team Galactic from Pokemon, like Diamond and Pearl, like in Platinum. I think that they're trying to combine parts from as well as Platinum into it, because the thing is, at the time, what they did was, like, they made sure that, like, with Pearl and Diamond, like, Platinum was an upgrade the same way Emerald was an upgrade for Ruby and Sapphire. So I think with the remake, what they did back with Ruby and Sapphire's remake was they included stuff from the Emerald one as well, like upgrades that they made in Emerald they included in it, even though it wasn't technically part of Ruby and Sapphire. And I think that they're gonna do the same with Diamond and Pearl, because there was, I think, some upgrades in Platinum. I didn't play too much of Platinum. I didn't play it right after Diamond and Pearl. I got it later. I didn't even know Platinum was a thing for ages. So I only had Diamond and Pearl, and I got Platinum as an adult. And I played a bit of Platinum, but I don't remember the differences between the two, because I hadn't replayed Diamond before that or anything. So, yeah, this kind of reminds me of those villains. So I get a bad ominous feeling that this guy here, this, you see the hair? You see the villain hair? Yeah, you can tell villain hair because it's, like, spiky. He's got villain hair. So this guy, villain guy, like, even if he's not a villain, he's a bad guy, or, like, he's a pain in the, like, whatever, or he's just a mean person that, like, you don't like, he's got villain hair. He's either a main character or villain. That's not the hair of someone who's just, like, your neighbor Bob, who, like, casually brings over cheese and, like, gives you a gift, like, $10 on your birthday. That's not him. He's the one who, like, runs over your bike while carrying his special experiment off to, like, the big city to blow something up. Like, he's that guy. That's him. He's the bad guy. So he's gonna judge the state of your parents' like, experiment that they're working on. So, absolutely, follow me. So, like, Dad, he's got this. He's totally got this. I like the fact that it shows little, like, expressions above the head. Oh my, did the noise wake you up, dear? It's nothing to be concerned about. We're merely performing our further tests on our latest invention. See? They're doing fine. But they totally look like they could be out of Team Galactic. It's like, it's finally the kid whose, like, parents are in the, like, bad organization. That reminds me, I believe Ellie was looking for you, dear. Why don't you go out and find her? She probably wants to show you her new toy. How very exciting. Oh my god. What's happening? Hi! Hello! Thanks for the raid. How are you guys doing? What's up? I'm just playing Nexomon, which looks a hell of a lot like Pokemon. Wouldn't you say so? Wouldn't you say this is basically Pokemon? Ignore the delay on the alert. The alert happened. We were making fun of Nexomon for like an hour or so. Yeah, no, that would... I believe you. Could we force Adrian to play? Yeah, no, it's 100% worth making fun of. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the game in like a I want to collect it all moment, and it reminds me so much of like Diamond and Pearl and like elements of it, but I'm like, there's something to be had here. We have a dad in this, totally different, right? Yeah, we've never had a dad in Pokemon before. Who's dad? Where's dad? He's like, the only one you really have a dad in is like Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald, and the dad's like a gym leader, and you like only see him once to like kick his butt, and that's it. And like, for him to like give some other kid a Pokemon, but he doesn't give his own kid a Pokemon, that's basically it. Still better than Sword and Shield. Yeah, no, we're just ignoring Sword and Shield. I don't like to think about it. I own it. I have it. I just don't like to think about it. See, the Protag has blue hair and not black hair. Way different. Uh-huh. Yeah. No, it's not. This is not like the OG. He's not Ash. Nothing like that. No one think about it. It's fine. No, there is nothing sus going on here. They did not copy Pokemon. I haven't chosen the starter yet. I'm thinking the, like, dragon one. So thank all of you guys for the follows. I'm gonna go through it now because I think you guys calm down a tiny bit. Let's see. Blitzy NY, Katie the Fox, Lildrian, you used bits and followed mad person. You absolute mad person. And just for all that, I'm shouting you out to your own people. So let's see. Yeah, that's right. I can spell. You were also playing Nexomon. Welcome. Let's see. Totally different. Yeah. No. Good old Norman. There's no rip-off Pichu. See, that's all it's missing. A rip-off Pikachu. Like, an actual, like, we needed, like, there's no version of Pikachu I've seen so far. There's, like, versions of other people. Oh, come on, I want to go in here. She's just not letting me go in the basement. Obviously we're not basement kids yet. We're not cool enough. You had to raid another Nexomon streamer. What made me want to stream this game? Well, I played 5 hours of this game on my own, and then I was like, I want to stream it, but I don't want to stream my own save file. So, I made a new save file, just so I can stream this one when I want to play it on stream. And I was like, cause I've played apparently like 6 hours of the game, I think, 6 or 7 hours, across a couple of days. So here we are playing Nexomon, and the thing is, I keep looking at stuff for Pokemon, because I want to play Pokemon, but I don't want to play Sword and Shield. I have no inclination to play Sword and Shield. I don't want to play Sun and Moon. Like, I'm not opening my DS. What I want to play is like Diamond and Pearl, or like Sapphire and Ruby. Yeah, so Feathera, yeah. I like Feathera. The thing is, the bonus of this game is you can find all the starters out in the world. Like, they're all findable. You can actually catch them. I have actually caught Valazy out in the world in my other save file. They're findable. You can find them. The starters are totally findable. Thank you for using the pronouns, like, thing. Yeah. Stay away from us. The thing is, I know that we take Ellie's, like, little robot Atlas here, and I'm like, we just took our friend's robot just for, like, a spin, for, like, a joyride. Like, hi, Ellie. Yeah, you can't take Atlas, he's not yours. No, we take Atlas. Atlas becomes our toy to, like, come with us for some reason. No, I don't sound Australian, but I am Australian. Thank you for asking. So, I'm originally from the US, but I've lived here in Australia for 15 years. So I'm 27, I've been here for 15 years. I've been here, actually I think it's longer than that. I've been here since I was like 10, so, and I'm, Jesus, it's like 17 years. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. Yeah, he wants the robot. Well, hearing someone admit that they are more inclined to play Nexomon over Pokemon Sword Shield Green Freak really good. Yeah, no, it's definitely a moment when I want to play a spin-off fake Pokemon more than Pokemon. She's not from down under, she's from up over, different Aussie accents. Yeah, no, there's two Aussie accents. There's the secret club of Americans who moved to Australia who are Australian. Don't get us wrong, we're not American anymore. Sorry. But then there's then there's the official Australian accent. I actually did a thing on this, and there's four Australian accents. There's Bogan, which comes out of nowhere. You either have Bogan all the time, or it comes out when you're with certain friends in certain places. There is the intense, rural, accent. Then there's the one that's slightly British sounding, which you get a lot more in the South. And then you have the default other. There's 4 accents in Australia versus the however many there are in the US. If anything, the fact that Nintendo let this slide into eShop, they too would rather play any... They stuffed up so much with Sword and Shield. Do you remember when they were like, oh yeah, we can't put all the Pokemon in because we have to redo the models? And then someone compared the models from Pokemon Sword and Shield and the old game, Let's Go and that, and they're like, you use the same model, nothing happened. Why can't you put in all the Pokemon when you're using models from the old games? What was that? All they did was pop the models into Blender and up the polygons. The line I drew was a Gigantamax Pokemon. I was like, nah, this isn't it. No, yeah, no, no, they keep just adding, extra words. They're like, what new word can we know? I know, Megalamax, what's, Gigantamax, I want the Pokemon that are coming in the gym, the raids, those, raid things, but I can't, I never win on my own, and half the time I don't want to play with strangers online. What if you don't have Nintendo Online? You're screwed. You're just never gonna get it. Obviously, this man needs to bulk up. He can't beat a child with a box. He can't take a box from a small child. What is he doing? How is he part of this organization of evil? Because he looks exactly like he came out of Team Rocket. Tell me that isn't like a Team Rocket knockoff outfit if I've ever seen one. What new gimmick can we add to mask our decreasing creativity increase? Yeah, no, essentially what they're doing is instead of that, they're bringing out Diamond and Pearl, a game everyone knows that we like, that we're into, and they're just like upping the look of some of it and being like, oh look, it's all the things that we didn't want to put into the new games in one of the old games. That's a remake. That's what they're doing. That's essentially what's happened. And I'm okay with playing it again and buying it because I like that game a lot. Yo, watch out in the new Pokemon. My Mega Gigantamax X Charizard goes dummy hard. Yeah, no, I believe you. I 100% believe you. Like, you must kick ass with that thing. They even outsourced it to another company. They outsourced that? What the hell? I just can't with Game Freak sometimes. There's features in their games that they're like, it's too hard. And I look at other companies and I'm like, then how did they do it? Like, how did that other company do it? If you, like, and you're saying it's too hard, like, it's possible, you just aren't doing it. That's what's happened here. And they'll put in a cool feature in one game, and then the next game is gone. And you're like, why didn't you just keep it? Okay, I understand that you're like, it's a kid's game, we have to, like, have a new gimmick for every game, but if the gimmick is cool and we like the gimmick, make it a permanent feature. That's it. They did that with, like, the Pokemon wandering around the world. That was a feature, like a gimmick in Let's Go, and everyone was like, oh, are you gonna do it? And they were like, shit, we've got more work to do, guys. We can't just do, like, a base image where they run through grass and it occasionally rustles. We have to actually put Pokemon in the world. Shit, guys. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? Cause this is too much work? We're just cutting out a bunch of Pokemon. Bam, problem solved. Excellent. Still time to vacay. Like, that's what happened. Like, that's what they did. Yeah, Gen 4 remake is being... Oh, no. They could... They... Oh, why? So, one of the pluses, the reasons I like this game more, is this. The starters, there's more starter options. They have a bunch of different options. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of these. There's 7 options, all different typing. It's not just fire, earth, or like water, or like plant and water. There's 7 options, and all of these Pokemon are actually findable in the real world, like in the rest of the Pokemon world. It's not like it's here or nothing. You don't have to, like, restart the game 5 times and trade it to yourself, because you can find them all. You can actually find them and have them, because I found at least one of them already. I looked it up. They're findable. And I'm like, why can't Pokemon just do that? Why? Why do they make my life harder? Your brother codes for a living and works at a company that ports third-party games to Switch. He always says that everyone is too lazy. He made Doom work on... all the AAA companies are too lazy, in my opinion. They're like, let's just print money, make it as, like, the base amount of, like, hype that we can, or base amount of things work, and then they'll just pay for it. And bam, problem solved. Yeah, Pokemon Arceus looks good, and in the fact that there's only one version, great, that it kind of looks like you might be able to find the starters maybe out in the wild. I think that I saw one of them in an image, so I'm like, maybe? You didn't go with the fox? No, I didn't go with the fox. You wanna know why? You can find him in this area. I can find him and catch him in this area. You know what I can't find in this area? Dragons. I can't find this dragon in this area. I'm gonna cry if I picked something that wasn't the dragon and I wasn't paying attention. Nope, found it. Bye, Mousy. Very logical. Yeah, I'm right. I was, like, wondering where I could find him in the wild, because I looked it up that you could in this game, and I was just, like, walking into a bush, and I was like, oh, found you. There's all these, like, random ones that if you search long enough, you find them. So there's a sheep I was looking for that I couldn't find, and in the process of looking for the sheep, I found, like, a ton of what I'm gonna call, like, they're the Nexomon, but I was just like, well, found more Pokemon. Cool. Didn't know you were here. And the fact is, they list the rarity. So they list, like, how rare or hard to find they are. So you can internally cry when you miss a super rare one. And it's like, oh, you're super rare. And I don't have any catcher things to find you. That was amazing. There's no way that was your first No, it wasn't my first Nexomon battle. It was definitely not my first Nexomon battle. You could almost say that I am a Nexomon expert at battling. It's almost like this format is in every single one of these kinds of games. Yeah, no worries. You have a lurk. You go eat. I have rissoles here. So we searching for Valazy? Yeah, I'm gonna search for Valazy. I'm 100% searching for Valazy. And above Valazy, I'm also finding a sheep, a cat, and a hermit crab. Because they're all in this area. I'm gonna get some sleep now. I've been up all night. Have a great... Yeah, no worries. Thanks so much for stopping by, Blizzard here. You have a good sleep. I have no idea what time it is, but by the words New York in your name, I'm gonna assume you're on the other side of the globe. So go have a good sleep. I know it has to be early. I know someone who streams on the other side of the country to New York, in like Washington, and it's like they start at 10 a.m. their time, and it's like 3 a.m. here. So it's gotta be late. Perlio? I wouldn't know if it's Perlio. I think it's something, it starts with an S. Its name starts with an S. But this guy, he reeks of bad guy. Look at this. You just look at the cape, look at his hair, tell me he isn't the bad guy. Nothing can tell me he isn't the bad guy. And you are? Well, I don't think that matters. Yeah, exactly. Like, these words alone. The words he's saying right here, calling us weaklings, telling it doesn't matter, telling us that, like, he hopes to never see us again, or he'll, like, teach us a lesson. Like, all of the nonsense that he's doing here, it screams, like, bad guy. This is the villain that we needed in Sword and Shield. Yeah, this is the guy that we needed as our nemesis in the game. Instead of the, like, oh, we're nemesises, but we're gonna be BFFs. We didn't need a BFF nemesis. We needed a nemesis that we could hate, that was better than us because they trained and worked harder, like Ash didn't. Is anyone else but me, like, when they look at, like, the OG Pokemon series, like, as a grown-up now, I look at it and I'm like, Ash is so lazy. Ash didn't do anything. Where was the hard work? Like, he doesn't get better. I own all the seasons. I've watched my way through a lot of the Pokemon seasons. He doesn't really improve in his, like, training ability, how hard he works, the effort he puts into it. He puts in the minimal amount when it comes to each time to go up against a specific trainer, and, like, or a gym, and that's it. Because he's just like, he goes up against him initially, he's like, oh crap. Fails entirely because he's not prepared, has to go and retrain, and then it's just like, bam, I'm here. Brock? Yeah, without Brock, he would be screwed. Brock is always coaching when he fights Gary. Yeah, Gary is the true master in Pokemon. Where is Gary's love? Where's the game for Gary? I'd play as Gary. I'd love to be as Gary. Like the hardworking trainer where you get points for actually being good at stuff with Pokemon. He got his license. Yeah, like, he got a license. He went out and he, like, waited a number of years. He worked, his grandfather's the Pokemon. Like, Professor, he put in the effort. He put in the miles. He knows what he's talking about. Whenever he shows up near Ash, and Ash is like, what's happening? Gary's like, oh, you want to know what's happening? Well, all this is happening, and here's the facts about Pokemon. Because he knows what he's talking about. And Ash is just there like a dumb kid because he's 10. Because he's like 10. My mom would never be cool with me at the age of 10 just going off into the world with like an older man and like a tween like kid called Misty who wants to take my Pokemon. Never. It would just never happen. More importantly, the fact that he gets away with like ruining Misty's bike and never paying it back, like, she never let it go, and the guys were just like, oh, let it go, Misty, and I'm like, no, do you know how much a bike costs? They're expensive. Bikes are expensive. She is downright justified in screaming at this 10-year-old kid for ruining her bike. Like, where's her bike? I don't know, but she never gets it back. albeit she does, I think, get a Pokemon, I think, at a later point off him, but it's beside the point. A Pokemon is not a bike. Misty was robbed. I mean, without Brock, they would have starved. Does anyone think about the number of times, like, they survived purely on the back of Brock? Without Brock, they probably would have died. They had no, like, you remember watching, like, the beginning couple episodes of Ash, where he's, like, starving in the woods, like, on his own, in, like, trying to hide out, has no idea what he's doing. I don't know if he even brought food with him that was, like, edible. You know when you go on a trip as a kid, and you just, like, shove bags of chips in your bag, and, like, some random snacks, you're like, all I need for food is, like, a couple packets of M&Ms, you know, like, some candy bars, like, a bag of chips, like, all the junk food. You bring the junk food with you, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I ate it all today? What am I gonna eat? Like, that's the kid mentality. He's 10. He's in that frame of mind. What food did he take? His mom screaming at him about his underwear is justified. Cause who knows what's gonna happen to him? Brock left his orphan brothers and sisters just to raise... Yeah, he essentially went from raising all of his siblings, like, finally making his dad step up, to raise his kids, to raising Ash and Misty, because he was like, these two kids are screwed. They're gonna either kill each other or starve to death. Because if you look at any of the times where it's just Misty and Ash on their own, they're miserable. They're cold, they're hungry, they're fighting, they're angry, like, nothing is going right. And Brock just rocks up and he's like, I've got it. I've got you. He not only feeds their Pokemon, he feeds them. Like, you don't think about it. Pokemon need food. I will give it to Sword and Shield. It's the first game where you really, like, give meals to your Pokemon. Albeit it's for, like, experience points. But it's the first one you give them full food. Before that, you only had Puffins and Pokeblocks. That wasn't really food. It was just kind of like a snack. And they only really did, like, changing the effects on your Pokemon. So, like, they'd, like, boost certain parts. I did like how in, I think it was X and Y, like, instead of the Pokeblocks, what you did was you did, like, fighting stuff and, like, little mini games. So that was kind of fun. But they were all different gimmicks. Like, they were gone by the next game. So, yeah, Brock single-handedly made them survive. The rest of the series wouldn't happen without him. And the fact that Ash doesn't seem to age at all through the whole series, so essentially Brock is raising an immortal little child who, like, never grows old, never gets older. He just low-key, like, helps him out for, like, eternity. And because he's spending time with him, he apparently stops aging as well, and so he just, like, never gets older. Right, yeah, he, like, just casually. No, they would all be totally screwed. So I'm looking forward to finding out if a Brock happens in this game, or apparently we're sufficient enough to not need a Brock. My favorite Pokemon? Okay, so my favorite starter is Bulbasaur. I know it's a little basic, but my favorite overall Pokemon is probably Growlithe. Now, it's just because he's super fluffy. I'm not even gonna lie, it's just because he's a massive, like, dog that's super cute, and so I'm very excited about the new version of him in Arceus, where he's just, like, bopping along, he's got, like, extra fluff, and I'm like, this screams, we needed a new plush toy. And I'm okay with it. They just saw an opportunity for more plush toys of Growlithe, because they're like, everyone already has plush toys of Growlithe, like, everyone already has Growlithe all over. We already have Growlithe. So what they need is actually have Growlithe right here. This is Growlithe. Ruff. So, Growlithe is here. So we already technically have Growlithe. So what they needed was an opportunity to sell more Growlithe plush toys. And so they were like, what's the beta way to do it? Oh, I know, give it a new evolution. So the new version looks fantastic. I will buy it in plush form, sticker form. You want to, like, sell me on a new Growlithe version? Go for it. You know what I'm excited for? Not just the new Growlithe one, but what does the new Arcanine look like? You know, the evolution of Growlithe? Like, Is it extra fluffy? Is he just a ball of fluff? I don't know. They hid it from us. They didn't show us. Do they know what the new, like, I'll be a little disappointed if it's, like, just looks like normal Arcanine. I'm gonna be a little disappointed if it looks exactly the same. And I'm also kind of curious with Vulpix, because the new in Arceus, it's very snowy, because it's supposed to be, like, northern, I think, Japan. Whether or not they're gonna do, like, a Alolan Vulpix, or if it's going to be a Fire Vulpix, or if there's going to be no Vulpix at all. And will they do a new like an evolution that's like an old evolution that like died out? Are they going to do that to us? And be like, so there was an evolution we never did, but here it is, and it's going to be only in this game. We never have to do it again. It never has to occur again because all these Pokemon, they're dead. I feel like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, well, we only have to do them for this one specific game, because this game, and only this game, has all the old Pokemon, because in every single other one, they're dead, or they've evolved, or they're gone. I feel like it's that's their, like, way out of it, you know? Like, that was how they got out of having to, like, ever make them again. The fact that I can't choose one of the regular ones and it's like, golden. He probably would kick my ass and like, get rid of all my normal ones, if I'm honest. I feel like the new Arceus game is going to be really cool. The fact that there's mounts, that there's new Pokemon we've never seen before, that they have like lore attached to some of the Pokemon, of like, this Pokemon only came about from like absorbing the souls or like angry spirits of like other dead Pokemon of its kind. Like dark stuff like that. It feels a little darker than a lot of the older Pokemon. You know? Better be a sea full of Relicanths and Ammonites. Yeah, one would hope that there's some of the older ones like floating around, you know? Because it would be a shame if, like, they didn't. If they just, like, didn't have any of the older ones, like, in the game. The ones that are, like, fossils. Because I'm like, when did they fully become, like, fossilized? When did they stop being, like, in the world? Or, like, I don't know. I'm kind of curious, like, which Pokemon they're gonna put in, which Pokemon they're gonna leave out. Because I bet there's some Pokemon that they're like, this Pokemon didn't occur yet. Like, it wasn't a thing. It, like, evolved later. But this game probably also gives them an excuse to not have to put every single Pokemon in the game. So they're probably only going to have maybe 400 Pokemon in the whole game. Which is, like, I'm okay with it as, like, if some of them are new Pokemon, or, like, new versions of the Pokemon, like the older evolutions, I can kind of get behind it. But I'm also, like, I hope that, like, because they're out in the world, there's at least something interesting about it. Because if you were only catching, like, the older Pokemon, and it's, like, cool, so they're, like, reserved to each region, there's gotta be something, like, you know, to motivate you to want to catch them all again. Because we've caught them all tons of times before. It's not like there'll be something new. It's not like they're Nexomon, you know? They haven't, like, achieved greatness. You know an advantage to this? Unlike in Pokemon, where, like, when you battle, like, wild Pokemon, all you get is experience points. You get money. You get money for kicking their ass. So, like, grinding, you get a small fortune to get more traps. You don't have to just, like, battle trainers all the time. Because there's, like, I think a more limited amount of trainers. I don't know how big this game is, but I feel like a section of it is just grinding. Because in this area alone, this, like, small area, I've seen at least 10, 12 Pokemon, and so it makes me wonder exactly how large the game is, how many areas there are, and, like, what Nexomon are in each area. So I'm convinced that, like, in order to find them all, it's a matter of just, like, walking through and seeking them all out, which is what I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of the grind, of catching them all, of, like, achieving it. It will be a moment of greatness. But, yeah, it's a shame when, like, Pokemon feels so stagnant. Like, it hasn't moved forward in years, and so we're excited about, like, minor evolution changes and, like, minor, like, upgrades from, like, a remastered game, and apparently it's not even being made by Game Freak, and so that makes me even more disappointed. Oh no, not this one again. Now this Pokemon, Nexomon, every time I've come across this thing, it's wasted like a ton of my like Nexa capture thing because it doesn't want to get into them in like the first couple. This thing is evil, and the thing does, I looked it up and I don't think it even evolves. I think this Nexomon doesn't do anything. We're giving it 1. If it doesn't get in, I'm not wasting them all on you. I'll come back. You're not rare. You're common. I'll come back to you, Saxia. I gave it a chance. It's not happening for Saxia. You like the new version of Scyther too? Always love Scyther's look in general. Scyther is a cool one because there's like rare Pokemon that are really cool, and then you'll have like odd ones where you're just like, what happened here? Like what occurred? You know? Where you just like look it down and you're like, what was the thought process that went into this look? You know? This music is really screaming Pokemon vibes to me. This music alone brings back like the old Pokemon days. It doesn't say new Pokemon. This music is so much better than Sword and Shields in my opinion. You know, like it's like when they remade the music of Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald, and I was like, why did you remake the music? Like, the music was good. You didn't need to remake the music. The music was not the problem. And they did a pretty decent style on the graphics. It makes me sad when I'm like, I look at the remasters of the games, and the remastered graphics of like some of the older games look better than some of the graphics of the new games. And I question what went wrong there in between, like, how is it that they can still really do good looks with like the pixel ones and the small little chibi ones, but they have this greater problem with like anything that requires like modern look graphics. And I still wonder why they didn't think through like, hey, we're gonna do this one area where you can fully rotate the camera and explore, but you know, everywhere else, yeah, it's a fixed camera look. Thanks so much for your support. Like, how did they not think people were gonna react badly to that? And then when they did DLC, which by the way is like $45, it's just like, yeah, cool. Why didn't you just include some of this in the actual game? Adrian made it past the first gym on his run. Oh, I haven't even done that yet. Because I was trying to find his sheep. So I was just like, I'm gonna catch them all in this area, and so I spent like 5 hours just grinding this area, trying to find them all. Now, I know which Pokemon is in here, so essentially I'm gonna give it a good sweep, try and find all the ones I give a shit about, and I'll circle back around to find the sheep, because I know the sheep is gonna take me a while. Essentially what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try and find all the ones that matter to me, and then if I like happen upon any of the others, hooray! But if I don't, it'll be okay. But I don't know what level I need to be in this area. Like, I have absolutely no idea what level I need to be at in order to beat the gym leader. Attack. See, there's a couple of like, sorry, I keep calling them Pokemon. I'm doomed. I'm doomed for not calling these things Pokemon. Honestly, tell me that this doesn't scream like the battle, the music, the catching of the creatures, albeit these things look pretty cool, but they look kind of like shurikens, like they're like fire flower. I'm expecting someone to take a bunch of these and just be like, hiya, hiya, ninja attack. Like, that's essentially what I'm expecting with these things. Or like, you just take one of these and like whack it at your older brother's head and be like, haha, it's got him. Like, that's kind of where I'm like going with those balls, is what I'm calling with these Nexa things. Now that panda thing I got, the panda cub, I have yet to find that thing as useful. There's a couple of creatures in this area where I've caught them for catching purposes, but apart from evolving them for just like getting the data on that like Nexomon, I don't generally give a shit about them because they're pretty like pathetic. As far as fighting goes, I literally took one of them into a fight, like one of the like Poke fights here for like a level 2 thing, and it nearly kicked its ass, and I was like, I'm never taking you into a fight ever. You know, like, there's always those Pokemon, not just Nexomon, but Pokemon, where you, like, find them and you're like, oh, you're absolutely useless in this fight. You know, that's actually the thing that I like about, Arceus. When they showed the new battle system of, like, some of the Pokemon could have multiple moves, it finally gives a purpose to having those status effect ones. You know, where it'd always be like, we're getting this one that's like Growl, and this fight is gonna be something else. You know the ones that are like that? Don't even think about it. Oh look, you're healed! The bright side is the items are still named the way you would think they'd be. Stop being confused. This is why I caught those Pokemon originally. Like Nexomon originally. It's a good thing this isn't a drinking game, where how many times can you say Pokemon? Okay, look here. Alpaca. I don't like you very much, but the bright side is I have a ton of things to kick your ass with, so it's fine, but I'm annoyed at you all the same, because you were at 2 health points. You ever have those moments where you're trying to like level up something and you're just like, could you just not die in this fight? It's been a pleasant time here, but I'm sleepy here in California. Have fun, take care, yeah, no worries, you have like a great sleep. Have so much fun. Nice to see you from California. We're on the same... I originally came from near there. Like, not California, but north of there, in Washington State. So hey, have a good sleeps. Enjoy your sleepage. I don't know. The Arceus battle system just, like... It brings me a greater joy because it's like, it has multiple, like... It's more complex than the Pokemon games currently are. Of like, you know, where it's like you get rid of all the status effect ones most of the time, because it's like, what's the point in this status effect one when there's one Pokemon that I'm going up against, it can like one-shot me, so my only chance is to like attack it with this thing. And no one ever uses any of the status effect ones. So as a result, it's just kind of like minorly pointless. You know, to like, on any greater level keep any of the status effect ones except like sleep. And occasionally confusion, because it also causes damage. And so you just get rid of all of them, and you're like, oh, surprise! Buy status effect things, and you just remove them. And I'm like, I genuinely have zero, like, words for why there's no reason to keep them. So, like, Arceus actually gives a reason, I think, to keep some of them. If you're like, so this can be used to, like, weaken their defense, and then we can attack directly after and, like, knock them out, if we want to. So it gives a little bit more of, like, a purpose to it, and, like, all the stands. It's just so much more complex looking, and I'm like, it blows my mind a little bit, and it kind of is like, we have to relearn how to play Pokemon. Which is something that we haven't had to do in a while, because the game is very simple in its thing. It's like, you have something that does more damage against an effect, like a Pokemon with an effect, like a nature that is highly affected. So you're fire type, and you're going up against grass type, and you have this fire move, and you have a normal type move. Well, the fire type move will wipe them out, but if you want to catch them, do a normal type move, and then you'll just like knock them into a weaker state. And you won't, like, KO them. You know? So it's just kind of like, you kind of know, why do I keep getting panda cubs? Dear God. Am I doomed? Am I literally doomed to panda cubs? What is this? Oh, panda cubs. Not panda cubs. They are, in my opinion, probably the most useless one in this area. Like, they're even worse than Bidoofs. Bidoofs in Pokemon, they at least have, like, they're tougher when you get to higher levels. You know? Like, you get to a higher level with them and you're like, yeah, I got it. And you just, like, use them, and they're, like, a good base as a normal type. And, like, when I'm thinking of the, like, woolly one, Wooloo. Wooloo's a good, like, base normal type, because they're like, it's good to have a normal type in your team, because, like, normal can be good against certain ones. Alright? Panda Cub is not the same one. I'm essentially considering them the normal type in this game, and so far, anytime I've used a Panda Cub, it has not had the greater effect I was hoping for, so they do not have, in my opinion, what I like to consider the qualities I'm looking for in my, like, Nexomon team. They just don't. But no, I'm excited for when the remake comes, even though it's apparently not being done by Pokemon, like, by Game Freak. Which, you know, I don't know why I'm surprised about it, considering how the games for them have gone recently. You know, like, because they haven't really stepped forward with anything, they just seem to be in the same place. And so I don't know why I'm surprised that they're not really, like, going anywhere with their, like, anything. Like, the game hasn't changed, so I don't know, I thought that they'd want to improve on one of their older games. I'm actually kind of curious if I, like, went back to see what, like, each of the latest games have been developed by, the ones that I really like, whether or not they were done by, like, Game Freak or not. Because there's a couple of them where I was like, I liked bits of how they were done, so I want to know if it was done by Game Freak or done by someone else. You know? I keep waiting for, like, the Valazy one to show up here, and me to be like, Nexaballless. But I was trying to, like, get enough money that I can buy some more Nexaballs. You know? I keep calling them Nexaballs because they're, like, Pokeballs. This is another one I want to get. I want to come back and get a Terabite, like the Turbite, because it's not bad Pokemon, like, from what I've used it a couple times, it's not bad against a couple of the normal types. It's a disaster against the plant ones, like the ones with the little plant symbol. It's an absolute disaster against those ones, but that's not really a surprise to me. I think bug types in Pokemon were also pretty bad against plant types. I'm not exactly sure how that one worked out. Some of the typing, the way that, like, certain types were weak towards other, I'm like, how is Fairy weak to all these other ones? I'm like, they're fairies. Wouldn't you think that they'd be, like, badasses and just, like, witcha their way through the day? I honestly wouldn't have looked at a fairy type and gone, ah, those must be pitiful. Fairy types are only really useful in, like, situationally. They're, like, cute, they're good for, like, when we had contests, they were good for, like, contests. Like the, like, pageants, which actually are coming back in, like, the Diamond and Pearl remake, because they had pageants, so they have to bring back pageants. They're not allowed to stop giving pageants. I don't actually think Sword and Shield has pageants, like the kind of pageants we did in the older games. I have no idea why they removed some of those things, like the mining, the pageants. All that stuff I think was in a couple of the older games. It wasn't just Diamond and Pearl. I think it was in a couple of them. And, like, I don't remember it being in, like, anything past Black and White. Like, did Black and White do so poorly that they just, like, completely decided not to do any of that stuff? That's my, like, real wonder. Is, like, what were they thinking and what was their, like, basis behind their decisions? I just honestly can't think, like, what was their thought process of that. I know I'm not paying too much attention to the battles, but I may or may not be an old hack at this style of fighting. And essentially, I've played this part, like, before, so I know what moves are better against, like, these two trainers, and like, I'm just like, yeah, the starter Pokemon will work. This Pokemon does fine with these, like, base couple of moves that it has, and just, like, can wipe them out in a couple attacks. So it's fine. This music is definitely better than Sword and Shield. I've, like, kind of blocked out parts of Sword and Shield. I don't know if anyone else has just, like, casually blocked out parts of that game, but I definitely have. I've definitely blocked out parts of it. I've definitely decided it's the game to, like, fully forget. I like this, like, Danda thing in, like, theory. I think it's evolved from this one other Pokemon in, like, one other Nexomon. It's not a Pokemon, it's a Nexomon. You know what, I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna call him Pokemon. So there's this one other Pokemon in this area that I think it evolves into this. And the fact that this one is like a level 3 of it, when it says that it evolves into it at like level like 36 or something, baffles me. Like, how can you exist at both 3 and 36? Like, you've got to exist only in one way, not the other, right? Like, right? Baffling. Utterly baffling. So, these like Pokemon here are adorable, and I want one. I want one of these like seahorses. What's going on here? I know, a fire. It's obviously a fire. But no, I originally got my first Pokemon game. So I got 5 for my mom because we were moving countries, and I had saved up money, so I managed to get a Game Boy. So I had a Game Boy, and my dad had Game Boy SP, but he was loaning it to me. And so as a result, I had and the SP, if anyone remembers, it had a light inside it. So if you pressed it, the whole screen backlit up. You remember the days where you had to sit on the car window and try and get an angle of the street light in order to keep playing your game, because the games didn't pause. Half of the games didn't have a pause button. And so it was either you kept playing and you tried to get victory, or you died and you started over when you got home. And it was just well, those are the 2 options, my friends. The days where a pause button began to exist. So I had a Game Boy Advance. My first one was a Game Boy Advance. It was purple, the purple Advance one. And I had that thing, and it was just it was glorious. And I had Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. Because it wasn't release when these came out. This was a little while after, because we never got games unreleased. Never. I never had a game on release in my life up until I became an adult. I could buy my own games. So I always got games way, way later than they ever came out. So when I had a PlayStation 2, the games we had were Tak and the Power of the Juju, the Jak and Daxter games. Jeez, something in my eye. Yeah, the Jak and Daxter games, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. But we didn't get any of these new. They were all secondhand. They were in the discount bin. We got them. My dad bought the Jak and Daxter ones, so I can't say if those ones were discounted, but the other ones definitely were. Because we never got games new. My mom didn't really buy any of them ever, and if she did, she was she looked for a sale. So my only Game Boy Color games came because they came in a 2-pack, and so it was you buy one, you get 2 games. So I got the Pokemon, the Powerpuff Girl games, not Pokemon, Powerpuff Girl games for Blossom and Buttercup in a dual pack. The other dual pack had Bubbles and Dexter in it, but a lot of people bought that because they gave their daughter Bubbles and their son Dexter. And so I never got the Bubbles game, so I only have Blossom and Buttercup. I've never played the Bubbles one. Probably never will. But I never finished the Buttercup and Blossom one either, because they are hard games. The Game Boy Color is essentially the era of which it was you either get good or you don't finish the game at all. They did not make easy games back then. Easy was not in the vernacular of the people who made games for the systems. They were oh no, a game is difficult? Well, don't buy it, don't play it, oh no, you never finish it. Because we're now more of in an era of there's the expectation that we might actually finish the game, and so the hope is that you'll actually finish it, you know? I'm just going this way for the coins in the fountain, because I know there's coins this way. These guys all hate him. Nexomon trainer, be overseer. Ian's a big jerk. Yeah, Ian is a big jerk. I know it. I like that they have a cranky old man who's just these whippersnappers leaving their equipment out here. I'm gonna hit them with my cane. all he needs is like a tennis ball and like an explorer badge, and he could be the guy from Up. You know? Like, look at him. Look at his crankiness level. He is definitely like a 6 out of 10. This music is so much Pallet Town. Oh my god, it's giving me like beginner town vibes to the extreme. Like the lady that's like walking in a circle in their house. You know, where they're like, oh look, I can only walk in a circle inside my house. I didn't know there was any other ways to walk. Like that lady. She's that one. And then we've got like the bass calm like vibes where there's like, the only thing missing from this town is someone in the corner being like, you know, in order to save the game, you just press this button. Or, you know, if you want to open the menu, there's this button. That's the only thing missing from this whole area. That person. The person that's just like, press this button in order to open the menu. That's how you can tell the difference between a AAA game or like a Nintendo game and like any other game, because there's always one character in the game. No matter what else that they're supposed to do, the only thing they tell you is how to open the menu. There's always one. No matter where you want to look for them, they exist. I don't know if there's a Nintendo game out there that doesn't somewhere have a thing that only triggers, hey, why don't you have a look at the menu? So we're gonna go and talk to Ian now, and then we're gonna go back and find like the other Nexomon and be like, oh, we've got the more Nexomon, and like do a little grind. Because we'll have talked to these angry dudes. Look at the bodybuilders. Huff huff. Go away, kid. I'm in the middle of my workout. Yeah, but what if I want to bug you in the middle of your workout? You know, these guys really need to go with more of like Saitama's workout routine. Of just like doing a bunch of running, doing some push-ups, doing a little bit of like beginner workout thing. They'll be fine. Like, they've already got the hair of Saitama. All they need is the workout ethic of Saitama and they'll be fine. Of course, Saitama is obviously an anomaly. He is not the rule, he is the exception. As you can see, I have an Eevee on my cup. All that we need to find is the Eevee in this game. The fact that I've been like told there isn't a Pikachu like ripoff in this game absolutely amazes me. You would think that it would be the first thing that they'd make, but maybe they thought that's the easiest way to get sued. So maybe they took it out because they're like, you know what, we're pushing it with the fact that he basically looks like this is one of the base Pokemon games, and we're like, this music. I'm expecting like really good battle music from this guy, because if you just hear his like gym's music alone, he's gotta have something good, right? Like, look at those posters. Do they have them? You can't get close to the poster, but look at that. Look at his nose. Tell me that he doesn't have something funky going on with his nose. In comparison, like, he doesn't even have a nose. None of these guys have noses. None of them have noses. None of them, look at their lips. Maybe that's why he has a mustache, to hide the like monstrosity that is their lips. Like, look at these lips. Look at them. Look at that. Look at that. Tell me that isn't something, like, what's going on here? Is it their chin? Is that their chin and not their, like, I'm so confused, but it looks very sus. So maybe that's why he has a mustache, to hide that. Do you watch the news? It's the most powerful tamer in the whole universe. What else is there to know? The fact, who paused the music? Oh man. See, I bought a bunch of these like indie games that I'm like, these games are doing it right. Like, there's something in them that is like doing it better than the AAA games, so I'm gonna try them all out. So I bought Nexomon, Nexomon Extinction, I also got like what's it called? Bug Fables. So I got Bug Fables. There's like a couple of like little games that I was like, these are indie games, but you can say that they put a lot of work into it, and they're inspired by some of the bigger AAA games. They just like, something about them is like better and doing it better than like what's going on with that. So I'm not reading the text at the moment because I've seen all this text before and I know exactly what's happening here, and because you, like, so a bunch of you are from the raid, you've likely already seen this text as well. Of just like, hey, I'm buff. Come back and beat me when you've become buffer. I'm a buff boy. I got all this buff energy. Like, look at these buffness. Like, that's essentially the vibe I'm getting from him right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and see how many of the Nexomon I know in this area there are, up to a point. So I'm probably gonna do it for like maybe, I've got like a mental thing of like how many I want to get as a baseline with like a certain number of searches. So we're gonna do it up to a certain level with the Nexomon. Once they reach that level, if I haven't found the ones that I'm looking for, I'll do a sweep back later, because a bunch of these Pokemon that I've caught now, I'm never like, a bunch of the Nexomon I've caught up to this point, I'm never going to actually like level them up. They're just gonna stay at the point they're at unless there's a reason for me to do it, like, oh hey, I don't run into their evolved forms later on. But if I find their evolved forms at a later point, like, what's the point in me, like, buying, like, anything else? To do it, 13. Okay, we have 13 Nexatraps. We're doing good. Nexatraps a go. Okay, you know how, like, the Pokemon Direct, so I'm looking forward to the Animal Crossing Direct, because I'm an Animal Crossing nerd. Love it. I play a bunch of Animal Crossing. And I'm kind of curious, like, what is going to be in the new update, right? But what I'm even more curious about is, like, that Mario announcement for the Mario movie. Like, who thought Chris Pratt was the best choice? And they even have the guy who voices Mario the rest of the time. Like, he voices him in, like, most of the games, movies, like, everywhere. And they were like, you know what? No. We're not gonna have him be the voice of Mario in the Mario movie that's animated? What? What are you talking about? Instead, we're gonna have the guy who plays a lot of mildly smug assholes in a bunch of other movies, and he's gonna play Mario, the guy who casually underrates his brother Luigi. I think the greater lesson of this is that Mario is apparently falling into the category, because he only seems to play people who are like mildly better with certain things than other people and very smug in most of his movies. So he typically seems to do that a lot. And so I'm like, huh, what does this say about Mario, the fact that he's playing him? Or maybe it's just like he saw the opportunity to play Mario and he's like, I can't pass this up, even if I think there might be someone out there better than that. I am actually really happy with who they cast for Peach, though. I love Anya. She's great. I've seen her in a ton of stuff. And I just think she's an amazing actress. So the fact that she's been cast in, like, the Mario movie, I'm down for it. I'm cool with it. I'm happy to have her as Peach. She's gonna, like, I'm kind of curious to see what kind of a Peach she plays. Like, what is Peach like? Is she more like Peach from, like, the Mario Odyssey movie? Like, the Mario Odyssey game? Where she's a little sassy and a little bit like, I'm gonna go off and travel the world on my own. Like, I don't need a man. Me in this hat. After we've been kidnapped and held hostage, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and see everywhere we're held hostage and actually make a trip of it. Like, is she gonna be that version of Peach, or is she gonna be like some other version of Peach that, like, hasn't apparently found her voice yet? Like, which version of Peach are we looking at here? That's where my, like, greater question is. Luigi as, like, I think it was Charlie Day. They've essentially set him up to be the comedic sidekick. Okay, they've essentially set him up to be the comedic sidekick of the movie, which I'm kind of a little sad about because I could have thought better for Luigi. You know, I always thought Luigi was cool. I didn't think he needed to be the joke brother. I thought he could be, like, the cool brother. I don't know, like, based on, I know he's a bit of a scaredy cat because I've played Luigi's Mansion 3. I know that he's a massive coward when it comes to certain things. He's very much like Scooby and Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo cartoon. But I saw better for him, you know? So this is one of the special ones I wanted to catch. This, like, crab thing. This crab here so much reminds me of a Pokemon in, like, you know the one that, like, it evolves? It's the one that, the shell looks almost exactly like this, except it's spiky instead of coral. Like, that's the only difference between those two the Pokemon in this Nexomon. That's it. That's the only change that seems to happen. I don't know. It's just a thought I have. Alright, so we're switching out with this one because I know Purleo is mildly useless. And I say mildly useless in the kindest way possible. So I know Valazy is around here somewhere. I've seen a Valazy. I've genuinely seen one. So I know it exists in this area. Yeah, you failed. We're gonna try and catch this Dandaloon thing. So essentially I'm saving the golden one on the off chance that I have no other thing to catch any of these Nexomon with. Dandaloon, you know, you try my patience. You genuinely try my patience. Oh no, it died. It's almost like it's... I'll find another. I'm not that heartbroken. I'm genuinely not that heartbroken at the loss of that. It's like, I remember when it took, like, how many games for them to put a little symbol next to the Pokemon to show you if you'd already caught the thing? Like, because you'd just have to guess. You'd have to try and remember which Pokemon you already had. And be like, haha, I already have one of you. This one here, you're nearly dead. You're level 2. Get in the Pokeball. You know those times where you're battling and it's just like, you reach a point where you're like, dude, get in the ball or die. Like, I don't care which of the two it is, but do one. Like, to, like, the thing you're trying to catch, and you're like, you've tried so hard, they're at, like, the base amount that they can be, you're like, just please. It's why you would save before legendary fights, because there was always that time that you would go up against it and you'd just, like, straight out kill it. You'd use something that you were like, I know this is effective. And you would just, like, wipe it off the face of the planet. And you'd be like, oh no. I killed it. And you, like, wouldn't mean to. And it just, like, you casually just wiped the thing out. And you're like, oh. It's gone now. Oh no. That's new? What was that? What? Okay, fine. Let's see. I have so many normals. I have too many normals. I need to level these ones up more. Do I actually have a paralyzed thing here? Yeah, I've got one. Alright, we'll use it. Jesus. Please don't use the paralyzed thing again. Okay? Just K? So we need to, like, level up some of the others, because I just realized that these, like, look at that. Oh, brother. Alright, so we're gonna go to the base area, because the base area is where I normally start. It's where I actually it's how I found a bunch of the, like, specialty ones. In that I was going through this, like, beginner area, trying to level up a couple of specific one of these, like, Nexomons. Because they were, like, level 2 when I caught them. And I was just like, oh, why did I catch level 2 ones? And I was like, I remembered that was because the higher level versions of them are a pain in the butt to, like, catch. Like, the alpaca at a higher level was so annoying. So I decided to try and start catching it at, like, level nothing and see if that worked. Oh boy, Saxia. The reason they name it Saxia is because it sucks. I'm not a fan of this one. I only caught one in in my main save file purely for, like, because one, its powers are a little annoying, and two, it's like, I want to collect them all, but I don't think it, like, evolves. I'm pretty sure it's one that doesn't evolve, and so, like, I purely am catching it for, like, collection purposes. I'm not planning on probably using it this side of ever. Okay, go in the Pokeball. Go in. I believe in you. Oh. This is such a bizarre game to play, of like, it's so... What was the point in that, Saxia? What was the point? You could have just gone inside the Nexaball, you could have lived a happy day, you couldn't do it. You couldn't get inside the Nexatrap. Is it a Nexatrap? I'm just gonna call it a Nexaball. I know it's not a ball, but just please go in. You're like nothing. You're literally nothing. There is zero purpose to you continually coming back out of it. Okay, this is why I only catch you once. This is literally why I catch it once, never bother again, don't level it up, I don't speak to this Pokemon, I ignore it. I essentially ignore it. This is like oh, there's this one Pokemon that constantly in every single game. Tell me that doesn't sound exactly like it does in Pokemon. It like, I'm surprised Pokemon hasn't trademarked that. Like noise of like, dun dun dun, like the like, you've just caught me, like that noise. Like I'm surprised they haven't like copyrighted that at this point, considering how like, you know, like it's so well known. Like you hear that noise and you're like, oh, Pokemon. Like you know exactly where some of these noises come from, and they're like the first thing you think of. Saxia, you know, just know I'm gonna try and kill you. And I say kill you in the kindest way possible. I'm not a fan of this one. This thing is weird. It's like a weird tentacle alien thing that like doesn't go into Nexaballs as quickly as I'd like it to. No, I'm not letting you have it pass out twice. Let's see. Let's do this one, because I don't remember if like water is weak in this one to the plant lady or not. I don't regret that. I don't regret getting the cat. Hey kitty. Thank you. Bastin. You remember like before, like early on, like when there's that item that... This is the problem, like when you compare the older ones to the newer ones, and the older ones you had to do this like grind and put them at the beginning of your party to level them up. And then in later ones, you could just like put them in the party and like they automatically all got XP. And I don't know why that like occurred, like when that change happened of like, cause it made the game so much easier unnecessarily. Like sure, convenience, but it's also like if there's a Pokemon you really don't want like to level up, like you're like, no, I don't want to level it up, I'm good, like it can go on its way. But like, for some unbeknownst reason, it's just like, cool. Here it is. Constantly. Always leveling up. Always having to give XP to all of them. I think you could turn it off. Like, I think you can go into a setting and actually turn it off. But like, it was just installed in the game. Whereas you actually have to earn it in a lot of the others. And I'm like, it's a cool thing to earn. It's like a sign of like, getting farther in the game that suddenly now you can put weaker Pokemon in your party. Now that you're like a little bit stronger. And it'll just like carry over the XP. Like now you can level them up. Cause you like, it was just a cool thing to get as you went through, whereas it kind of like, it's kind of removed that by just like giving it to you in the beginning of the game instead. I don't know if that like makes a lot of sense. I like the little symbol in the corner. Like you can't, it's up here in the corner and it shows like that you've actually caught it before. It took Pokemon how many games to get that in the game? I don't know why I keep comparing this. Like I know why I keep comparing this to Pokemon, but it's just like, Pokemon do better. Everything about this game makes me want to play the older Pokemon games again, because even though they're like, there's flaws in them, they're not perfect, they obviously have room to grow, but you don't expect perfection from them because they're the early games. Like, they are good for their time. They had cool features for their time, but like they had the room like to grow. They've had time. And it's sad that the favorite ones, the ones where people remember it, and they're like, yeah, those were cool things in the game that they remember about the game, are from like the early 2000s. People don't look back and go, except like X and Y. X and Y was pretty like, still pretty decent for like the games. But you don't look at like the last, I think it's like two of them. Like, is it only the last two or the last three? Yeah, the last three, because there's because Sun and Moon Ultra was a separate one. Like, the last three of them, you just look at them and you're like, what was this? Were you punking us? Were we being punked? Was that what happened here? Oh look, it's a dandelion. It's almost like I've just seen one of these before. Oh man, good old dandelions. Alright, this is a one chance only. It either gets in the next trap, or it dies. So it has to make up its mind. This is essentially that point where, you know, with like the poison Pokemon, where it either gets in the ball or it dies. Like, that's what just happened here. We called its bluff. We called it a game of chicken against this thing, and it was like, haha! Here we are! We're ready now. Don't let us go. So we played a game of chicken and we won. That's what happened. Bum, 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 bum. Oh my god, enough with the panda cubs. Enough with the panda cubs. These panda cubs are far too easy to beat, and this is exactly why I will not have it permanently in my party. This is the exact reason. The panda cubs, I have easily defeated them with every single thing I have. I still have a panda cub in my party? You've got to be kidding. Alright, the next Pokemon, like Nexomon I catch, we're switching out the panda cub. Bye, panda cub. Why, panda cub? Why? Why, panda cub? Why are you still here? This is the curse of the panda cub. This is literally the curse of the panda cub. Panda cub is essentially Bidoof, but less useful. Panda cub, go away now, please. I've just essentially brought on a plague of panda cubs. The panda cub is this area's Zubat, is what I'm taking from it. I think I've caught that one right. Yeah, I can see the thing in the corner. Mustino. Some of these names, and I'm amused with the fact that you can't change them to give them nicknames. Like, they've made it so you can't give them really stupid nicknames. Like, you know, whenever you trade someone like a Pokemon, and you get it, and because you can't change its name if it's been traded to you with a nickname, and it's like, they'll name it something bizarre or ridiculous, and you're like, I can't use this anywhere because of this name. It will get me, like I just can't. And you can't even, like, remove it if it's something really ridiculous. You know where it was it's a thing in Animal Crossing where if someone's given the character really bad catchphrases or put something really bad in their house, you can actually reset it so that way it's taken out or they stop saying it. Why? What was the point in this? I like the alpaca. Like, look at how it's taken this, like a champ. Stop putting him to sleep. Stop it. Okay, I understand that my alpaca is essentially a beast, but what you don't need to do is, like, rip it a new one. You don't need to knock out the alpaca. Oh, no. Now, I've had this greater problem of I haven't been able to finish Sword and Shield. Now, I'm sure this isn't a new thing. I'm sure plenty of people have had this same issue of, like, not being able to finish Sword and Shield. But I literally am stuck at that point where you're dealing with Rose inside the stadium. Because the Pokemon I have apparently are pathetic against the Pokemon he has. They apparently, like, don't have the right stats, right skills, right, like, anything in order to deal with him. And so as a result, I'm just grinding in that in Shield to just try and like level up Pokemon that I need that are the right type to add into my party with the Pokemon I normally have to try and like beat him. Cause I'm having so much trouble with him. And I'm just like, so I've kind of given up. And then I like started just roaming around the wilds. So I'm essentially doing absolutely nothing in that game at the moment. And so I just got bored and I stopped playing because I was like, I decided instead of completing the Pokedex or completing the game to try and complete the Curry Dex. And in case you're wondering, there's actually an item. Like, I think it's only one item, but there's an item that you can only get from trading a Pokemon from the other version of, like, Pokemon. And I was like, how on earth am I supposed to get the other, like, one of this? How am I supposed to do it? If I, like, literally don't have any significant way of like switching over. Now I do, because I have a second Switch that I use mostly for Animal Crossing, but I'm actually, because I have the physical cards, I'm gonna put Shield onto my second Switch and I'll simply level up enough to get that item, trade over a Pokemon into the other game, like a totally irrelevant, totally useless Pokemon that I don't care about, trade it over to give him these, like a certain number of this food item. Like I'll trade it back and forth just to trade this food item over. And that's it. Like that's all I'll do. I will literally do nothing else. I don't have any other purpose for doing it besides trading over one item to complete the Curry Dex. Oh my god, what? I'm so scared. Don't die. I didn't even know you could find this here. I'm finding something new? No. Look at the tenseness in my shoulders. We can do it. We can catch it. Go into the Nexaball. Do it. Do it, Fawn. Do it for me. It will be worth wasting all of these Nexaballs. No! Ooh! Why does it base it at the same point? I've killed three Nexomon this way, in that it starts it at the fighting thing instead of at the point where it just... Oh my god, why? I'm just gonna cry. Alright, we're going back into town. I just want to cry. All this means is now I've added another Nexomon to the list to hunt through this area for. That's essentially all I've done. I've added a Nexomon to my list to hunt for that I don't remember the name of. And the thing is, I know these rare ones, you will see them more than once. I like the fact that it tells you when they're rare, so you know whether or not, if you die and you don't catch it, you need to cry yourself to sleep at night. Apparently, I just found one of those. And it's so rare, I've never seen it in this area before. Half of these rare ones, I see them in one save file, and I see them nowhere else. You know what? I'm fine with this. It's fine. I'm just attacking you just to carry on with my day. I'm killing this Saxia. I'm gonna have to start just running from these because I've leveled the things up too far, and so I need to make sure I won't just like kill the next fauna I run across. I need to, like, that's essentially what needs to happen. Alright, we're gonna catch this Turbite, and I'm just gonna switch out the Panda Cub because I don't need the Panda Cub. I need nothing from the Panda Cub. There is no Panda Cub here. Where's a Panda Cub? I don't see Panda Cub. What Panda Cub? Oh wait, no Panda Cub? You don't have a Panda Cub? No one has a panda cub? Oh, that's right, because no one likes panda cubs. No one likes panda cubs. So, of course, there is no panda cubs. Oh, man. I don't know if I have the audio of this game too loud or not. There we go. Bye, panda cub. Yeah, no. Bye, panda cub. See you, panda cub. Good riddance, panda cub. I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep thinking about how I lost that fauna. I may just in my own time, like, casually, like, grind finding that one, just so no one has to see me suffer. You know where you do that and you just, like, do a 12-hour grind looking for one specific thing? Yeah, I may just do that. That might be what happens. I'm not just fleeing from these because I'm too high level and I don't want to kill the next, like, deer thing I come across. We found it again, we found it again, we found it again. Nobody move. Okay, okay, okay. Everyone stay calm. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Okay, we're gonna pay close attention and we're not gonna kill it. Go in. Do it for me, fauna. Why do you hate me? After this one, we're going back to town to get more Nexa things. Because there's all the ones that are left are the, like, rarer ones. Okay, don't attack it. Don't attack it. We're not gonna kill it. We have 2 more of these things, and you're gonna go in one. Excellent. Victory. We got a Ventaphon. Everyone bow down before me. The Ventaphon has been captured. I nearly had a heart attack. I nearly in my chest was just like, this is your greater moment. Oh my god. It's just so cute. I can't not be excited about that thing. It's adorable. Tell me that's not adorable. It's not even one of the registered starters. How many Nexa things? The thing is, I'm scared to go in the grass and see anything. I just went in the grass. What am I doing? It's fine. It's just a turbine. It's okay. Nobody cry. I'm not crying. Because I don't want to come across a Valazy and have 2 Nexa traps. You know that moment where you find something cool because you're just like trying to grind? You're just like, I'm in the grind zone. I'm just like grinding to like level up a Pokemon, and then you come across like a shiny Pokemon or like a shiny anything and you're like, dear God, I have 1 Pokeball in my pockets. I have 1 Pokeball, and if it doesn't go into that 1 Pokeball, you just go like, great, I just wasted my moment of glory because I had no Pokeballs. And so you paranoially, like, will stash up on as many Pokeballs as you have. Like, even after you found all of the Pokemon in the game, even after you're like, I'm not catching anything more, you carry like 100 Pokeballs. Just on the off chance you come across a shiny on your travels while you're playing through the game. That's what you do. It is a moment of panic, people. $16. I don't know what just happened. Stop making noises. Stop making noises. My phone just notified me that Far Cry 6 is now out, and I went, I don't even have it pre-ordered. Why are you telling me? I'm not buying Far Cry 6. Do you know how little I care about the Far Cry series? I only just bought a Far Cry game. Far Cry 3. That's what happened. I only just bought Far Cry 3. Okay? We're at Far Cry 6. I only just bought Far Cry 3. Because all the Far Cry games were just casually on sale. Like a seriously heavy sale. Like a big sale. They were just on sale. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'm just gonna like casually pick all of you up now. So I got like 3 to sit, like three primal, 4, 5, and I think there's like one of the other spin-offs, and because half of them were like $12. I was like, oh, $12 for a Far Cry game? I can do that. That's fine with me. I'm okay with a like $12 Far Cry game. So I did that. I got a couple of them all for like 12 bucks because I was like, that's how much I think the Far Cry games are worth. Take that how you will. I don't think the Far Cry games are as good as people think they are. I've never played one, so I'm willing to be like proven wrong about the Far Cry games. I'm willing to play them and be like, ah, masterpiece, game of the year, game of the decade, game of the century. I don't think that's gonna be the case, but I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to eat my words and be like, you know what, this game is the best game ever. All those other games, nothing compared to this. Doubt it, heavily doubt it. Wanna know why I doubt it? Because they got lazy with their games. Ubisoft got very, very lazy. And all their games are the same, and they had the same guy approving them all, and he was like, unless it sits in this format, the game is not getting approved, the game is hot garbage. They originally wanted to make with the Assassin's Creed game, they wanted to have, in the like Odyssey, they wanted to have just her, just the female one, and he wouldn't approve it unless they also did the male version. I'm like, you wouldn't allow them to go ahead with their vision? In case anyone has ever played that game and you don't play it as the female lead, you're not doing it right. The game is so much better when you play as her. Like, her graphics, her art style, her drawing, her look is so much better than the male alternative version. Like, it's just that much better. Do I want to fight a couple of these? How much money do I have? Let's fight this one. I kind of want to see what this move does. This move does nothing. That's the answer. That move does nothing. What does that even do? Intimidate your opponent to make them unwilling. Oh, wow. It's a status effect. This is why you have to read the text before you do things. This is like, oh, I'm gonna growl, and you think that growling is gonna do something, and it doesn't, and you're like, oh my god. Why didn't growling do anything? And bam, you just found out why growling didn't do anything. It's a status effect. It was supposed to intimidate them, but they're code. And they just laughed in your face. They looked you in the eyes and they just started giggling and going, ha 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 ha. You thought that was gonna intimidate me? I'm from Game Freak. Nothing can intimidate me but being made into 3D, apparently. So B-Ron is first. Alright, well let's go over and like give him a health thing. I like this little addition of this like health nurse out here. Albeit it does make me mean I don't have to wander back to town as often. Ever know that thing where you'd be in the middle of like all this dense forest and it's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die out here. That like moment and you're just like, oh no. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm doomed. It's that. It's exactly that. No, I think I met Valazy in this middle section. This section here, when I actually came across Valazy. I don't think it was in the easy section. I think it wanders in this bit. Running. Do, 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 do. You could essentially bop out to that for hours. You could just very much bop out to that for hours. I'm sorry if this is incredibly dull, because all I'm doing is entering into a battle and fleeing, and it's simply because I'm genuinely curious if, like, I'm going to run across this Valazy. We're giving it a solid go, we're giving it a try, we're giving it a good hard go ahead. This is essentially shiny hunting, but without the shinies. I swear to god, if they put shiny versions of these starters in this game, I'm doomed. We're all doomed. Everyone who plays Nexomon and goes, oh, there's shinies? Great. Let's just get them all. I think they save people a lot of time by not putting shinies in this game for our own like well-being, sanity, and like better health. So the thing is, while I'm streaming this, if I don't find a Valazy, I think I'll genuinely come back and just try and find a Valazy on my own for this one, because I do want a Valazy, but I haven't decided. It's really gonna depend on if I just want to be like, yeah, how long will it take? How long could it possibly take to find a Valazy? How long? Who knows? So it was either this area or is the other one where I found the fauna. So we're just doing a cursory part of this one, because each one seems to have its own, like, kind of distinctness, because the thing is, there's like certain rare ones that I didn't see in some of the other areas, but I saw in like so it's like specific areas seem to have like different rare ones. So I'm trying to remember if the Valazie I caught was in this part, or if it was in the next part. I think it was in the next part. I think it's the middle section. This section here. Where I found the Valazie. Pretty sure. Stop with the panda cubs. Enough with the panda cubs. Honestly. Panda cubs everywhere. You could make an entire necklace of panda cubs at this point. The first time I saw a panda cub, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Little did I know what I was in for with the panda cubs. Little did I know what I was in for. I didn't know anything. I was like, oh, panda cubs? What panda cubs? I want a panda cub. I thought that they were going to be hard to find. I was like, oh, I bet they're rare and like difficult to find. Little did I know that they are basically everywhere. Look at this. There's another panda cub. There is another panda cub right here. I found another panda cub. Anyone want a panda cub? Is anyone missing a panda cub? Honestly, no one needs a panda cub. And I don't need you either, Dandaloon. Yeah, I'm sure I want to run away from the Dandaloon. I'd be a loon to stick around and be around this Dandaloon. That's right, I can throw out puns. I'm a pun master. I am pun terrific. Cheryl, I appreciate that you're a rare one, but I'm not looking for you, okay? I know there's an owl, there's a deer, a sheep. So there's an owl, a sheep, and the like fox in this area. I know they're here. I know that what they look like. They're not a mystery to me. The fact that the fauna was here though was a new achievement. Does that mean I've like essentially used all of my luck in existence finding that deer? Is that what just occurred? Is that what just happened? Did I just waste my luck on finding an adorable deer? Because if so, I'm a little devastated. You know, pandacoons are essentially the sea bass of this game. And I say this as someone who hasn't seen the rest of the game, but I have this greater feeling that I'm gonna just wander along and be like, oh, what's this Pokemon? It's a panda cub. I feel like I'm essentially gonna just like wander into panda cub land. You know, you'll be like, oh, look at this special area with all these rare Pokemon. You like wander through and you'll be like, oh, I can throw a Nexatrap, and then you open them all up and they're all panda cubs. Like, that's the nightmare. Just like thinking you caught all these like cool special like things and they just all turned out to be panda cubs. Nothing else. You've just caught an entire pocket of panda cubs. I wonder if anyone was like, you know what? We found it. We found the sheep. We found the sheep. Nobody panic. We found the sheep. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Okay. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. It's fine. It's perfectly okay. We're gonna get it. It's gonna be fine. We have the sheep. We're going to get the sheep. Sheep gods. Please, sheepness. Oh, sheepness? Is that how we refer to you? Oh, sheepness. Hey, so me and you, we haven't exactly had a good conversation lately, but you know what you could do? You could just like get inside the Nexatrap and like we'd be square, okay? Like we'd be all G. We'd be good. All you need to do is get inside the My prayer worked. Thank you, oh sheepness. I will pray to you again in the future. Thank you, sheepness. The sheepness has continued. Okay, I want to see if there's something on my team I want to send back. Is there anything I want to send back? Was there anything I want to send back? You know, I kind of want to keep all those for the moment. We're just gonna send you to storage. But we caught the sheep! We caught the sheep! Nobody panic! All that's left is the owl and the fox. That's it. No wonder I've been having a hard time finding the sheep in my other save file. It's super rare! It's okay. It's all gonna be fine. Okay. Okay. I did not just have a minor, like, Yep, now we've found the owl. Look it's an owl. First Nexatrap? Is that because it was like level 2? I think it's because I found it at like level 2. I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly fine with this. A rare owl just like wanted to come along for the ride. Look, ain't he a hoot? He's a real hoot and a half. Look at that, those eyes. He looks like the kind of guy who could invest in a party. Like, party time, hoot, 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 hoot. No one wants to join in with the hooting. It's okay, I understand. Not everyone can be as cool as me and my friend Owlie. Not everyone can be as cool as me and Owlie. Okay, okay, all that's left is the fox. And no one say it, okay? If we find the fox, I'll say it. But no one say it until we find the fox. I just, in my soul, I had like, my body, my soul just left my body. No, I'm gonna excuse the fact that they're throwing panda cubs at me. For the fact that we just got 2 of the rare, like 3 of the, like the rare Pokemon, like the Nexa things to find, we got them. I don't even care that we're coming across a bunch of panda cubs right now. I don't even care. Like, I think this might be the wrong area for the panda cubs, maybe. For the fox. It might be the other area that I have to be in for the fox. I don't think it's the starter area for the fox. I'm pretty sure the starter part, I'm pretty sure this part only has the cat. I'm pretty sure that you don't find the fox in this place. I don't know mentally where because it doesn't really, like, I don't think it says where we caught them. Like, when you look at the team, I don't think it shows, like, info. Yeah, it doesn't show you, like, where you caught it. Or anything like that. Nothing like that. Okay, I want to level you up a little bit, so we're gonna switch you out, and we'll do a couple, like, fights. Just to get a bit of little cash. Because I have this greater feeling like more Nexa traps are in our future. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is definitely a higher bop. It is a higher bop. Do you mind? At least the bound doesn't like cause damage. It feels like a lost opportunity to cause extra damage, but it's also like you could just bind your enemy and attack them repeatedly and be like, we're all good. I got this. You know, Dandelion, there's a reason I don't like you, but also a reason I caught you. Hello! Okay, I think it's only like maybe 2 more attacks and then that thing will like kapoof. No more binding, please. Okay, we had a chat, Dandelion. Okay, no, why? Why did you do that? You ever have those moments where you're just like, you've almost got it on the rails? Yeah, I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, I don't have the giving of flying for that. We're gonna switch out with Turbite. And he's gonna just like casually finish you off. Cool? Cool? We good? Excellent. Glad we had this chat, Dandelion. Glad we had this chat. Because I actually do like the other 2. They're pretty cute. They just like don't have any levels. This area is crazy with dandelions. This area is crazy with the dandelions. No binding, please. Thank you. Very much, sir. Excuse me, madam. Excuse me. What was this, sir? Honestly, Dandelion, did you think that would work? Did you think that would stop me? No, it didn't. You wanna know why? Because I can't be beat. I say this now. Kitty! This Bastion thing is cool. I do like this, I do like this one really cool. It kind of reminds me of, like, Anka. For anyone who plays Animal Crossing, it 100% reminds me of Anka. She is a mad lad, and I just love it. It's so good. Oh no. Okay, cool. I was looking at my notification ones from Twitch and it was like, we have reset all stream keys, and I'm like, okay, well I'm streaming right now, so it's fine for the moment, I guess. I'll have to do that after stream. I think it was because they had that like hacking problem where it was like all the source code and all their like the payout amounts for the higher like for all the streamers was like released. And it was right around the same time that like Facebook had their like technical issue. And so I'm like, I wonder if it was something that was all connected. The only one that doesn't seem to have been hit was like YouTube. So I'm like, I don't know what that says. But apparently they must have liked YouTube more than everywhere else if they only like attacked everything else, or who knows what was going on with that. Oh, brother. But I don't know how everyone else's days went. My day was hectic. It started out pretty like long. I had uni, I had work, and then I had uni. And work is not what I like to call fun. I'm not gonna say what my work is because I'm trying to like, I only let people know when I'm in chats. I don't do it on stream because I'm not really supposed to talk about what my work is, and so I don't. But like, it's not what I call enjoyable. Like, it's fine. It pays the bills. It allows me to save up for like the future of next year. But it's not something that I would probably want to do for the rest of my life. I wouldn't mind doing it for like the next year while I study, but because of the way that like things are going, I mean, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, just for time reasons, which, you know, kind of sucks, but what you gonna do? Oh well. But it does mean that like I'm like looking at like what kind of games do I want to get for the future. Because the problem I've been having is like a lot of the AAA games, they just aren't doing it. Like they aren't fulfilling the kind of like, because most people are in the US, right? But here in Australia, games can get very expensive. So for most people, like the base AAA game is between $60 to $80. But here in Australia, it's between $80 and like $125. Which is a lot of money. For anyone. And I know that our like base dollar is more, so I know that we are paid higher here. So I know minimum wage I think in the US is like maybe $14, like depending on the state. Our base minimum wage for like 16-year-olds is like $15, I think, $15 or $16. So we have a higher minimum wage to begin with. But I don't think that excuse is like making games so much higher, because the base wage hasn't changed, but the games keep getting more expensive. So I can understand like maybe I can get it behind $80 games because it's $20 more. We earn a little bit more per hour. Fine, $80 for the game. That comes into like taxing, shipping, the fact that all games here are taxed by the government. I can get behind it. It's fine. But a lot of the base games for the PlayStation are now $130. Like a lot of them start at $100 now, and the special editions are $130. Some of the base versions are $130. What's it called? Demon Souls for the PlayStation 5 is $125. It just is. I don't know if anyone played like Miles Morales, but that game was like $100, I think. It was like $100 here. And so one of them is like a AAA game, and I don't believe that they're giving the value they should be for their games, because they're just not putting in the work, they're not putting in the effort. I'm very critical of games nowadays, because I'm like, if you're not putting in the effort, what's the point in buying you? Like, what am I doing to justify this price? Whereas indie games will put in all this like effort, albeit this one is like a copy of Pokemon. All things considered, the value that they're putting in, it's similar content to like a Pokemon game. And the Pokemon games are $80, and this game was $15. This game is $15. It was not made by a huge AAA company. It's kind of reminds me of like how what Stardew did with Harvest Moon, and how like not exactly, because this one is very much, you can see the full connection, whereas Stardew Valley, it's a little like, you wouldn't know unless you knew more of the history of how he got into it, or you read an article or something, that he had made the game because he didn't think they were doing enough, because it's its own game in its own right. This one you can clearly see the inspiration, you can see the connection, you can see why it is like what it is. Like, honestly, you can totally 100% see it. So, yeah. Let's see. I don't think the fox is in that area. Okay, so B-Ron is now at level 9. I wasn't paying much attention. I don't know what level I need to be at to deal with, like, the gym leader. I really don't know what level I need to be at for. I think I'm gonna try and make all of these guys level 10 or 11. And I'm gonna take that as, like, the base, because they're all basically there anyways. So let's see, the team... I think so I'm gonna probably switch over to Turbite next. Turbite and Cheryl and Bastion, and level them up to like level 10 as well. I'll level them up to like I'm gonna do level 11 for all of them, because that I think should be fine as far as I'm aware, like unless it's like they have to be like 15. So Feather might be level 12 while all the rest are like, because the thing I'm worried about is, like, I know with Pokemon, once you level things too high, sometimes they'll stop listening to you. They'll just no longer pay you any regard, they don't give you any attention, nothing. They do not care what you're doing, what your day is like, nothing, none of that. So the real question then is, like, what's going on? Why? What if there's the same, like, cap for skills of, like, hey, so they're no longer gonna listen to you once you hit level 15. Like, I haven't seen a thing for that. I mean, to be fair, Pokemon doesn't really warn you either until you reach that point, and it's like, oh hey, they're not gonna pay any more attention to you anymore. Tee-hee, they don't like you. Like, that's essentially, it kind of reminds me exactly of Ash, where he leveled up Charmander all the way up to, like, Charizard, and that guy did not listen to him at all, and he's like, why don't you listen to me? Like, you used to listen to me. And I'm like, he kinda listened to you, but I'm sure he also knows, like the entire crowd, that you just don't have what it takes to take care of him, and like, you just aren't, like, you just don't pay him any heed whatsoever. Like, he just, like, you probably didn't train him at all. I bet if Brock had him, he'd pay attention to Brock. Because Brock clearly puts in the work, puts in the effort, he is just as skilled as him, whereas Ash is still a dumb kid who, like, doesn't know what he's doing or what he's talking about, and he's just kind of like, oh, I'm just so lucky to, like, get these things. He gave away the only Pokemon that truly paid him any heed, and that was Butterfree, who was from Caterpie. The only Pokemon he fully put effort into training, fully put effort into caring about, was Caterpie. He didn't even give Pikachu the same level of attention. And he just let Caterpie leave. to go off and be with the Butterfree. I'm baffled. I'm like, that still hurts my soul. Of like, but Butterfree, why did you leave? Like, why did you let Butterfree go? What were you thinking? I'm still... That one still hurts. That one 100% still hurts. Okay, I haven't saved all that time, and the idea that I haven't saved in that long, well, after getting those amazing Nexomon. Okay, so look at this guy. Look at this cutie. Look at little Fauna. We got Owly. We'll get one of these things because it'll evolve from this. I don't know if it's useful, but we'll get one. I like that it has the evolution data in it of like, so you know exactly what point you have to evolve it to. Now we haven't seen this one, but I feel like this one might not show up until we get past, like past the like, what's what I'm looking for, past the next gym, because it feels like it might be something that shows up more then, because we haven't seen it yet. A Ratapon, I know it's uncommon, but the other uncommons we have seen them at least once. Same with the squirrel thing, and this list isn't really like, it doesn't really inform us of like where they're supposed to be or if they're like place specific. But yeah, I went with Feathera because I looked up where you could find these all in the world, like the base starters, and Feathera was one of the harder to find. It was one of the like farther away and harder to find ones. The other ones that are a little harder away and farther to find, I didn't care as much about, and apparently there isn't a ton of fire Pokemon in this game. So the other good one to go with would have been the fire skunk thing, because that one apparently is like a little harder to find, and one of the others that was like the ice one, I think, because it's like rare in that area, or there's like not a lot of bushes or something. So I think I chose one of the top like 3 harder to find, harder to look for, farther away to get ones. And I'm not too bothered about like the whole fire and ice thing farther away. I'll live with it when I get there. Okay, so we're gonna try and just like, we're just gonna enter into battles and leave battles for like a limited period of time and see if we can find that stupid like fox. I say stupid with all my kindness in the world. Because that fox looks cool, and it would be cool to have more of it. Oh my god. Hey. You've just subscribed for 3 months. I didn't know you... Did you resubscribe and I don't not notice? What do you mean 3 months? I didn't notice you subscribed for the 2nd month. When did that happen? I don't even remember seeing that in my list. When did that occur? It's too far away for me to look back. But thank you so much for subscribing for 3 months. Welcome back to the subscription. Is it because of the bear? How are you doing, by the way? Wow. I'm amazed. I'm utterly amazed. Because I think I've been streaming for 3 going on 4 months now. Like with affiliate, I mean. I've been going for a little longer than that, like outside of that. But as affiliate, for like the 3 almost 4 months, yeah. Because I was looking back at it and I was like, it was like August that I got those couple of raids that helped me out with it. You're tired, just finished D&D? Yeah, how was D&D? Was it good? Did you like achieve greatness? You like achieve the ultimate goal? It's been a while since I've played D&D. Oh yeah, I finally went and spoke to my DM. So, yeah, you just subscribed. Yeah, you subscribed to my first affiliate stream. Yeah, I can see that. Because I have been subscribed for 3 months as well. And I'm the streamer, and it auto subscribes me. Plus, you're one of the founders. So congratulations. There isn't many of you. There's like maybe 4 of you, 4 or 5 of you, because most of the people I know who got subscribed early were gifted it from one person who like was like randomly like gifted like 10 people. slow. A few people didn't show up. Yeah, you're number one. You subscribed first, and I think then it was... I think after that was like Angel gave like a sub, and then someone else. There was like a couple of you that did it. I have it written down because the person who was third also gifted all those subs, so I've written them down as my first ever gifter of subs because that was super nice of them. Yeah, you like the bear wave? I chose the bear wave because I thought it was a good idea to like add that in, you know, like as a high. Cause I put bless as like I think tier 2 instead. Cause I didn't think as many people would probably use it as much. I have been thinking about redrawing that though. Cause I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I hope you like the waving bear, because that one's thanks to Talking Hug, who saw that I was like, I had 5 subs, and gifted me like 10, like gifted me like a bunch of subs to like get a second emote slot, which was very nice of them. Yeah, talk to you when you get home. I'm sorry that D&D was slow, but I'm glad you stopped by to say hey and let me know that you're getting home. So let me know when you get home safe. And thank you for saying Viking bears, or these emotes would not have happened. I might still add in one that's of me and make that a tier 2 one. I haven't decided. I'm looking over the like emote drawings I have, because I haven't drawn them all out, and I've been meaning to draw a couple more of the gnomes, because I want to put them into like BTTV. So they'll be usable in my chat, but they'll be BTTV ones. So only people with BTTV will be able to see them. So I'm like, because I've put other BTTV ones that I've drawn in. So I think... Yeah, it doesn't really show it there. But like, I put in like ones like that, so... Does it show over here? Control click. Nah, doesn't show there either. But yeah, I put some in at a different point. Alright. Time to get serious. The goal? Valazy. The time limit? Like 30 minutes. Let's see how we go. Okay. Not the Valazy we're looking for. Because I'm trying to remember if the Valazy I found it in here. I don't think I did. I think I found it in the other area. So we're gonna go back out there. So we're gonna get this Valazy if it hurts. Because I think it was in the middle of me looking for the sheep that I found it. It was in the middle of me looking for the sheep that I found Valazy on my other save file, because I was hungrily looking for the sheep. I was trying to find the sheep. I was determined to find the sheep. You know the sheep I'm talking about, the super rare white sheep that I found just before, along with the fauna that I didn't know was in this area? Yeah, that's right. I found both of those suckers in this save file. Haven't found them in the main save file, but you know what I did find in the main save file? Something that I know is here. That fox. I know the fox is here. The fox has gotta be here because I've seen it. I've seen that it mentions that it's in this area. No. Alright, we're just gonna wipe you out just cuz. You're adorable. But I don't need a second one of you. And the fact that you showed up and not Valazy makes me sad. But I'm gonna wipe you out anyways. So, cause it gave money. Come on, Valazy. Come on, Valazy me. Prove to me that Valazy can appear. Valazy. We are summoning Valazy. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba ba ba. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba ba ba. Valazy. Come on. I believe in you, my sir. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to appear before us. You know, maybe it's just we haven't prayed hard enough to the fox gods. You know, the way that we prayed to the sheep gods in order to, you know, catch the sheep the first time. And not only did we pray hard enough for the sheep to show up, but now we've seen the sheep multiple times. So obviously, I prayed to the right place. The sheep gods. Now all we need to do is pray to the fox gods. Fox spirits, fox gods, whoever your fox deity is, wherever they come from, the fox spirit needs to occur to find us a Valazy. Because I believe in it. I believe in our ability to find the Valazy of our dreams, even. You know, because this Valazy, maybe it just needs convincing. Maybe it needs to just know that we mean well. That, you know, we don't have bad intentions. We're not trying to, like, shame it. We're genuinely just trying to show Valazy the best of the world, like what we can do, like the greatest achievement, the best we can be. It obviously does not know what we are capable of, but we can prove it to Valazy. We can prove to Valazy that we are worth it, that we are trainers. We are the Brock of this game. We will cook the best food. We will give them the best snacks. We will make sure to care for them, groom them, make sure they look all pretty, nice and dandy. They will look adorable. We will achieve greatness for this fox. Because not only have we experienced foxes before, in the form of Naruto, and his fox inner, like, spirit, the nine-tailed fox, not only have I experienced that level of fox in my life, but I have in fact seen the adorableness of a real fox. So I know that foxes are an amazing gift, and so all we need to do is find the fox, find him, convince him that he should be with us, be near us, be part of this team. You know, we don't need a panda cub, we don't need them. What we need is the fox. And we promise that we will not in fact ask him, what does he say? We will never ask him this. You wanna know why? Because only heathens do. People who aren't real fox fans. People who are not part of the Fox Nexomon club. People who don't really appreciate what this fox has to offer. They're the people who say, what does the fox say? They're those people. We are not one of those people. We are better than that. We can find him. We are part of the dream. We are part of the achievement. We are part of the goal. We see it in the headlights. We see it in the line of sight. We know it's coming. We can see it in the future. All it's gonna take is a little bit of faith, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of pixie dust. No, Shelby. Don't you dare ruin our streak with your rareness, okay? We don't need you, Shelby. We already have a Shelby. Thanks so much, Shelby. Move it along, Shelby. We need a Valazy. What we need is the fox. Doo-doo. Tell me this doesn't look casually like the fish has just eaten like an egg and put like googly eyes on it and just been like, hey, just like look happy. Like, it doesn't strike me that that thing must be something terrifying that's just casually trying to kill all the other Pokemon by like convincing them inside its mouth. You know? You know, like that, the fish, the football fish in Animal Crossing. I don't know what its real name is, but it has like this little like antenna thingy at the front of its face. It's like a light, and it like dingles it in front of its face to bring like little fishies closer, and then it just goes like ow, and and like eats them. This strikes me as that. This strikes me exactly as what that is. This strikes me as a way for it to like lull in the people and be like, oh look, what do we have here? Don't be misguided, like we're friendly, look at our tongue. Like it's got googly eyes on it. That's essentially what I'm taking from this. We're gonna try the other side of the fire. You never know, maybe the fox only can be on one side of the fire, it can't be on both sides of the fire. Let's try it over here. Let's see if the fox is over here. Because I know the fox is somewhere in all this. I've seen one. I know that it's here. I know this thing exists. I know it occurs. It's not a surprise. It's not a miracle. It's just a real reality. And it's not like super rare. The sheep is rarer. That sheep is harder to find. And we found 2 of that sheep. So that means that we're due for a fox. We're due to find one. Oh man, the fox. The fox. Whatever will we do? You don't need more of this fish, honestly. This fish, the panda cub, both of them, we're good. We don't need either of them. They are essentially ruining the day. We caught one, we got one, we're good. Neither of them, by the way, seem heavily useful. I'm willing to be surprised. Maybe their evolved form is something special. Who knows? I sure don't think so. I sure think that it's not something special. That it's heavily not going to be. And that's okay. No, it's not. There's no reason for these fishes. There's no reason for the panda cub. We don't need a panda cub. We don't need a fishy. We got the fishy. We got the panda cub. All we need is the fox. This feels like when I was looking for a Vulpix when I was younger. So when I was younger, it's not even just a Vulpix. So in Sapphire and Emerald and Ruby, you can't actually get into the second area until you've actually seen or caught every single Pokemon in the Pokedex, right? But you can't catch all of them in the Pokedex, so you have to have traded some of them because they're not all available on each version of the thing. So you have to have, I think it's only seen, I don't think it's caught. I think you have to have seen them all, maybe. I don't remember exactly. I think it was just seen. It might have been caught. But I never got there. I tried so hard to get them all and find out. I've never seen what's in this farther. I've been told it's just some area where you do more fights. So I'm like, cool, I'm not missing out on anything then. But I'm just like, dude, what happened? So I've literally never finished that game. It's like I've seen the credits. I've completed the game, but I haven't finished the game. I haven't seen every single area in the game. I haven't caught every Pokemon in it. Never have. And it was even harder in the remake because they released all these legendaries. You had to have special combinations of items. I'm just glad they didn't time lock them to be like, oh hey, so you can't catch these Pokemon after this date. No, as long as you have the things in the game, as long as you have the right combination of items and legendaries, you can still go ahead and try and catch them in this game. It's totally fine. So it's just a matter of making sure you have the right stuff to find the right legendary on these little mystery islands. Which is all good with me, but I've never actually gotten them all. I have what I like to call short attention span with games. So I am what you call I hyper focus on stuff. I will obsess and hyper focus on something. And you can't break me out of it. I'm it's the only thing I really think about, the only thing I really want to do. It's all I'm really interested in. On a greater scale. And then I'll completely be oh no, I've moved on. And I'll stop paying attention to it. So I snap between hobbies, and I hyper focus on that hobby for that window of time, and then I move on. It's I have some sort of weird attention to hobbies disorder. Or attention to games. Maybe that's a thing. You get bored of them and you move on. I mean, I know most people normally get bored of games eventually, but it'll be I'll play a game for 200 hours, right? I'll play it, I'll forget to sleep properly, I'll crash during the day, I won't pay attention to meals, I'll stop doing a lot of stuff. I just generally stop paying attention to everything, and then I just focus on this like game or this hobby for that like a window of time. I obsess about it. And then I like switch back to paying attention to something else, and I'm like, what happened here? Where did it go? What occurred in this gap of time that caused me to just like lose all attention? You know, like what was it? Sometimes it's like I'll find something challenging and I'm just like, I can't be bothered with this. Other times it's like it feels like the game is trying to stop me or force me into this like mass amount of grinding, and I'm just not here for it. I'm like, no, I'm good, I don't need it, I'm fine. Who needs that amount of grinding? I sure don't. I don't know, it's just like a thought of like, cool, great, glad. Oh man, so many of these things. It's just a matter of like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Oh no, you didn't find the thing. Oh no, it's not there. And you just gotta like keep carrying on. No, still the fishy, still the fishy. We'll get there. We will achieve glory. One moment. Sorry, my mom's going to bed. That's why I have to end it like this time. Regardless of when I start, this is when I normally have to end. Unless I like mute myself for a window of time while she like prepares, and then I get really quiet for a window of time. But also my throat gets sore because I do talking all day at work. Like I literally like will talk the whole day because I'm on a phone. It's like, hello. And it's just like the whole day on the phone. You know? That's what you do. It's a madness. It's a moment of madness. I don't know how else it's better to describe it. One moment. Looks like she wants to talk to me again. She takes about 10 minutes in here, 10-15, sometimes longer, depending on if she wants to have a chat. So we're seeing if anyone's playing Nexomon, because I might want to feed you guys that. No, it's just me. It's just me. Brilliant. So when this one's done, I'll try and find someone I know who's like live, because I know some like good people who usually play around this time. I know a couple of lovely ones, so it just depends on whether or not they're streaming tonight or not. So let's see. We've got. I told you there's a time crunch on me trying to like find this Pokemon. Not Pokemon, Nexomon. I'm going to keep calling it a Pokemon. I'm doomed. I'm literally doomed to failure with that. Let's see. Oh, it's different. Yeah, cool. What about her? Nope, probably not. Because I'm trying to find someone I like now, and actually, because I want to make sure you guys go somewhere safe and cool. Most people I know are like casual. Okay, cool. I can send you there once I'm done here. Cool. No, I don't need to fight a Saxia today. Goodbye, Saxia. Hello, freedom. The Saxia sucks. Why panda cubs? Why? Why is it always panda cubs? It's gotta always be panda cubs. It's always panda cubs. Honestly, all we need is the fox. If I have to grind this, I will. Sorry. Mom being mom. So, I'm sure a bunch of you probably live with your parents as an adult, and you know exactly what it's like. When they want to chat, regardless of what you're doing, they want to have a chat. We can do it. I believe in us being able to find this. Okay, cool. Alright, we've got to crunch 6 minutes. Can we find it in 6 minutes? Can we do it? I believe in us. I believe in our ability to find him. I believe we're in the right area for it. And we'll literally cry if we don't find him. Because I've found him. I know he's here. I know he exists. Because I was searching for that silly sheep. And that's how I found him. That is literally how I found him. Because I was looking for that sheep. The trick was, I was looking for a different creature. That's the real problem. The real problem is you gotta be looking for a different creature. That should be the last time. It honestly drives me mental. Enough with the fauna. Enough with the fauna. Honestly. Honest to God. It will drive me nuts. No, it's probably not on the cards. We've got to accept it. We've got to accept the fact that I'm not going to find it. So the thing is, if I don't find the Valazi, I will try again later. I'm not going to probably put people through trying to like find this one. I'm only attacking the rare ones because they show up. And I'm like, they're good money because I think that they give... Wow, that was effective. Basically everything's at a higher level now. Let's move you here. We'll move you out. Yeah, so it's like it's decent money to kill a couple of rare ones when they show up. But the rest of them is just like, why? Why bother? You know? But, you know, I haven't finished Sword and Shield, but I think I will eventually, like, it is like a greater goal of mine to eventually finish that game, you know? Like, to achieve the glory of finishing it. It'll probably not be on stream. I don't plan on streaming it, I don't think. I plan on streaming the next Pokemon game. And if I get to the DLC of Sword and Shield, I might do the DLC. I might. Probably not, but I might. It's all a matter of whether or not I feel invested enough in, like, showing people, like, what's going on with it. But I think most people are kind of just, like, over Sword and Shield. Like, no one... The entire time the game has only brought us, like, anger. And it's sad that the first game everyone's excited about for Pokemon, like, no one seems to have major complaints. I think a couple people, like, complained about the look of the grass a couple times, and they're like, what is this grass doing? Why is it like this? Some people, like, if your major complaint about a game is the way the grass looks, you're doing fine, sweetie. Like, if that's the major complaint you have, you're doing fine. I like that this game still gives you XP if the Nexomon dies. I like that it still does that. It doesn't, like, force you into not taking it, like, not getting any. You know, because in Pokemon, you'll have these lower level Pokemon at the front, and you're trying to get at the experience, but it's just not getting there. It's just not in the cards, you know? Do 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 do. This music is very catchy. Okay, these are probably our last couple. I just don't think it's happening. I just don't believe that, like, that we're gonna find this Nexomon. You know? Like, I don't think we're gonna find the fox today. We will find it. I will find this fox. I will keep looking. I'm gonna find it. It's gonna get caught. I will literally just sit here and go in circles until I find it. I'm not gonna bore people with it. I'll be like, ta-da, I found it. Because it's been about a half hour just searching for it, and that's kind of, like, boring for people. I understand, like, I watched someone grind in Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 15, for, like, Jesus, it was like 5 hours of them just grinding, but it's a little different. So we're gonna do this tiny area here, and then if it's not here, we're gonna raid. I bet these are all gonna be panda cubs. How much want to bet every single one of these is a panda cub? All of them are gonna be panda cubs. Panda cub. No, it was a dandelion. Even worse. Last two. See, you can hear my phone behind me. Just like, it's time for the final countdown. Do 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 do. Like, essentially that's what's going on. It's just like, it's time. It's time. Last one. Nope. Cool. Brilliant. Cool. Oh. Alright, so we're gonna raid. I know exactly who I'm raiding, because there's someone that is online now who I know. They're a decent human being. So if you want to raid with the raid message, or you're subbed and you want to use the raid message, those are the two you can use. The raid message when you're subbed looks like this, with like the little Viking bears. They're a good bean. I 100% recommend, and thank you everyone for, like, coming along. For the people who rated me, the people who followed, people who have lurked. Like, thanks you guys for being here. I know it's been a little hit or miss with me lately, but I am getting back into stream again. It's just, like, been a hectic couple of weeks. I know a couple of hectic weeks are coming, but if I plan correctly, it won't be hectic. I gotta plan now for then, otherwise I'm gonna cry through my final assessment this semester. Regardless, if I'm not as active in the next couple weeks, it's just because of assessment, but I will still be streaming each week. I'm determined. But thank you guys for being here, for lurking, for hanging along, for just for just being you. And I hope you all know that you're loved and cared for and special, and that you all have a good day and enjoy your time in his stream, because he's a good bean. So, bye. Bye.